There is no 100% security anywhere in the world. The more the ease of life, the more the security in it. One of the beauty about cybersecurity is also job security. So we are starting with the ethical hacking essentials, right? Where we learn about some few things about ethical hacking, and it's just essentials, right? But we're seeing some little things that you need to know about ethical hacking. It's just an introduction for you, right? So we learn some things regarding that. And also from there, we go to the network defense. So you understand things regarding the network defense, network security, how to defend a enterprise network, but not too deep. And also you learn the introduction to digital forensics, which is very essential for you. Right. So what is the Ethical Hacking Essentials program? Right. This is a security program that covers the fundamental concepts of information security and ethical hacking. So the program was developed by subject matter experts, of course, from all over the world to update and ensure the students are exposed to the latest advances in the space. So we're going to have some course outline. We talk about information security fundamentals, ethical hacking fundamentals, password cracking, wireless, mobile, IoT, cloud computing, and of course, some fundamental about penetration testing. So I wish you all the best of luck as we go on. Okay. So what is information security? What is information security? So this talk about the state of well-being of information and infrastructure in which the possibility of theft, tampering, and disruption of information and services is low or tolerable. Please notice the word low or tolerable. What does this mean? It means that there is no 100% security anywhere in the world. That's what it's talking about. No 100% security anywhere in the world. So what you try to do most is to secure your devices, your infrastructure as best as possible. And trust me, there are a lot of factors that not make security 100%. There's finances, there's government, there is professional capability. There's a lot of things that not make security 100%. And trust me, your security, if you want to do all security, security is more than return on investment. And you can't spend all your profit on security. The first thing every organization is looking at is return on investment. Even in Nigeria, NGOs, they're looking for what? Return on investment, profit. Right. So there's nowhere in the world that security is 100%. But what you're trying to do is that you're trying to meet your risk appetite, right? So that means you want it to be low or you can tolerate the risk. Some people transfer risks, people do a lot of things just to maintain that low risk vulnerabilities. So information security is actually the web information. How secured is the information, your infrastructures, and so on and so forth. And the beauty about it is the more there's development, the more security this thing needs. Let me give you an example. Before, money was liquid, nobody has to come to your house. If anybody wants to steal money from you, they have to come to your house and carry gun and steal money, right? But nowadays, all of you are doing transfer. So without anybody even carry gun, they can move that money from your account through any means. So now the ease of you transferring money, you don't have to go to banks to make transfer. There's ease of life, right? The more the ease of life, the more the security in it. And that's why I tell people one of the beauty about cybersecurity is also job security. That's one of the things because the more there's ease of life, the more security that thing needs. You see self-driving cars now, right? It's very interesting. When people were driving manual, you control almost everything. But now we went from automatic, then from there we went to self-driving car. Now it's very interesting. You sit at the comfort of the car. The car is driving you to where you can even sleep if you want to, right? It's very, very interesting. There's comfort. But now, if someone hijack that car, you're in trouble. All these ones that they said that they want to kidnap, they will just drive it to the bush. The car will not stop. It's just take it directly to the bush. Right? It has become a problem because before you could control everything. Now, if they hack that car, you see that the speed will just go up to like 200 kilometers per hour. If you press brake, the brake will not work because they've hijacked that car. Now, there's the comfort that you have there that is driving itself. But now, the security, it needs more security than when you were driving manual. When we were driving manual, the security was less. But now that is self-driving car, it needs more security. Let me give another example. Let's talk about health now. Now, with health, one of the things that is even driving IoT is health. Now, before, there's a way they give drip, right? And the manual processes where that the nurse can look at the spring and say that maybe one drop per 1 second, right? And it's checking it, come to check it. But now with automated system, the doctor can go through stuff and say that, okay, this was, you just set it to be automated. Now, if they hijack that system now, the Baba that is meant to be collecting one drop per 1 second, let's say that is now collecting 100 drops per 1 second, what will happen to the Baba? Before you know it, you just see Baba has gone home. That's the end. We've hijacked the system. Last thing, home, right? Home automation. Alexa, open my window. Alexa, close my window. It's very, very interesting. No stress. You don't have to open your window. You don't have to close. Alexa, play me music. Let's say someone now hijack Alexa now. The window is open. And someone is sleeping, right? And someone hijack Alexa and they shut down the ventilation. The person will just choke in the morning. By the time the police come, they will have released Alexa. They will not know that it's Alexa that has problem. And of course, there's nothing. It's never been Nigeria that they might never do forensics. The person is gone for life. So nobody ever think that they hijacked Alexa and the person choked to death. So the more the ease of life, the more the security net. Okay. So what are the need for security? The evolution of technology, just what I've said this morning. Focus on the ease of use. So the more there's ease of use, the more security needs. They rely on the use of computers for accessing, providing, or just storing information. The next increased network environment. Yes, that's where you see 5G, 6G is coming on. There's a lot of traffic going on now. A lot of people, some of it like this for the whole day, you're on the internet. I don't know that you are creating traffic. Now, there's direct impact of security breach on the corporate assets base and goodwill. Increased complexity, yes, of computer infrastructure, administration, and management. And these are one of the major issues, complexity. And one of the issues, I'll be talking some of these things, but some of you when you come into class, I'll talk more about it. And that's why over here, we don't just teach security as being an instructor. We teach it based because we are in the industry. And we say a lot of things in the industry. But when we are teaching, we don't just teach based on the books. We teach based on the politics they need. We teach based on the experience they need. We teach based on everything regarding to it and the industrial experience regarding to it. So that's one of the benefits if you come here. So I will not just teach you based on the books. I'll give you real life scenarios related to it. Olufemi, I've still seen your hands raised. Do you have a question? Because it's actually stopping me seeing your hand raised. Olufemi, please go ahead if you have a question.
No question, please.
Okay, let me drop that hands because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
confusing. Okay. Now, what are the elements of information security? We have the confidentiality. Now, confidentiality is saying that there's an assurance that the information is accessible to only those that are authorized to have access. Okay, please also, if you don't mute your mic, I'll disable that mic. So that means you'll not be able to talk throughout this class. So please make sure you mute your mic. So if you don't mute your mic and you are forcing it, I will actually disable that mic. All right, thank you. So confidentiality Confidentiality means that there's assurance that information is accessible only to those that have authorized to have access. It's the same thing with physical security, right? In the military. And sometimes you see that most of the time they tell that you only have access to this information. Not because everybody cannot have access. You see that some of these field agents, when they go on a particular mission, some of these times, if the artifact they get is more than their level access, you see that most of them don't look at the artifact. You just go and drop it at the base. Because once they know that you have that access to information, it's more than your level access. You see that most of the time, the FBI will say, even be the one looking for you. Or anything has to do with security, they won't looking for you because that information needs to be kept. And because of that, let's say you are a sergeant, because you have the information doesn't mean that they will promote you to be a general tomorrow, because a general has some resources allocated to him to handle that information. Some of them have like pipe security, some of them have some other things for them to handle that information. Then they can have access to an information. But if the information is more than your level access, that most of the time, no matter who you are, because you are just one person, if the opponent can get to you faster, you can divulge that information no matter how strong you are. If they do something, you will divulge the information at the end of the day. So most of the time, you see that they don't give you access more than what you need. So if you have more than that access, it becomes a problem. The same thing with your bank app. Let's say another person, or you just wake up with the money and you see that there's a pornography advert on your bank app. Won't you won't you close the app? You would. Or someone have access to your bank app because that bank application is for you alone. And that's where we have some measures that talks about something you have, something to have can be a token, something you have, right? That can be biometric, something you know, that can be a password or token. So those are the measures we put in place for confidentiality. Let me come again. We have measures like something you have, that can be a token, hardware token, or security key, or a flash. Something you have, that's biometric. Something you know, that's your password, your PIN, and so on and so forth. Habib, you have a question. Let me hear from you.
Yes, sir. It's not really a question per se. On the screen, I saw that recording and transcript are stopped. I don't know if you are aware of that, so that maybe it's for our record or something. I don't know.
Okay, Samuel, please look into that. Thank you.
Thank, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you. Okay, so that's about confidentiality, so that only people who have right access can gain right access to those information, and no other person would have access. Then we have integrity. The second one is okay. Jude, go ahead. Jude, you have a question.
Okay, sorry, please. You were saying before Habib interrupt. You were saying that some like on that confidentiality. You said that something you have. I didn't get that. I didn't get to that.
Okay, please. Another person is mic is on. Please, Gloria, let me look into that. Anybody that the mic is on and is person, if you just disable the mic. So that means throughout
Okay.
today, they don't have anything to. No,
Okay,
I'm not
please.
talking to you, Jude. I'm not talking to you, Jude. So once you finish talking, just me too. I'm talking to Glory. So please, if anybody is making, disable the mic directly, just disable the mic. Thank you. Okay, all right, dude. Something you have, right? Examples, you go to your bank and they give you a token, right? So that means if you want to log in and they're asking for multi-factor authentication, you can use something you have. That's the token. And you can have
Okay.
security keys, right? So also your wallet, your physical wallet that they hardware, right? Some of you have something like that. That's something you have. There's something you have. That's your biometrics, right? Face recognition, voice recognition. In fact, there's something that's even funny about biometrics because I actually specialized in that some years ago. The way you type, no two-person type the same way. It's so funny. Keystroke dynamics. So it's still on the side that is even a biometric because Google noticed that no two people type the same way. And some of the time, that's another metric where AI will be very useful for machine learning. Where even though you're not, most of it I feel that you're anonymous online, well, we still talk about that as a more point. You're not entirely anonymous. So those are also metrics we'll be looking at. Right? I'm just talking about biometrics. So something you is biometrics. There's something you know, right? Of course, your PIN, your password, they're the only one that knows it. So those are metrics we use for confidentiality. So Jude, do you understand that?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much.
All right. Then let's go to integrity. So with integrity, we are going to dwell a lot on integrity, right? So I'll come back to integrity because integrity will take us to another topic. But let me finish the other before I go back to integrity. So what availability is saying that the assurance that the system responsible for delivering, storing, and processing information are accessible when required by the authorized users. And the beauty about people is that people tend to adapt to ease of life. There was a time that when you were using one MPP camera, all of you know how fine you were now. When you were using all those CBR for you were very fine. Some of you be like, this, all those Nokia, I think it was Nokia some N series Nokia. Some of you were doing fine boy and fine girls. But now, if you see those pictures, how did they look like? Now that I now have 12 MP, 24 MP, and so on and so forth, those pictures does not look nice. So let me give another example. Let's say there was a time that Edge, we were all using Edge, and Edge was, if I have 1 gig then, I use that 1 gig for a whole month. Right? And people now, some people, some 4G server, not 4G, some people, because it's very slow. Some people are looking for 5G. So one of the things about availability that people get eased, right? People get comfortable with ease of life. So by the time you reduce that standard, that will talk about priority of service, right? So by the time you reduce that standard, I'm even taking it availability in another industrial way. That is not even a bad thing, just shutting down. Right? Sometimes lowering the standard can affect availability. That means people getting up to some standard of what you've given them before. Example, if low is taking you to edge now, it says it's under unavailability, but that network is slow. It's under priority of service. But what people know as availability is that a system shut down, you're unable to access it. At the time that Cloudflare was down, Azure was down, AWS had issues and things like that. Most of these people, when people cannot have access to the service. Now, imagine that Glo is not working, MTN is not working, Airtel is not working for a week. What do you think will happen in Nigeria? All those telecoms does not work for a week. And the truth is that there was a time that they were not working, that we were just using Excel. People were living their normal life. Now, people are comfortable with those technology now. Imagine that service is just down for a week. What do you think will happen? There will be a lot of chaos now. See, a lot of things will cause a lot of problems. So that's about availability. So you are making sure that things are available to users and almost at the same standard, the same priority of service. Not only that they are available to them, but at the standard of priority of service. What makes availability? The wrap authenticity that talks about the quality of a document or communication being genuine. That's authenticity. They have no reputation. That means the sender cannot deny sending the message. Then the receiver cannot deny receiving the message. So that has no reputation. So you can't deny that they didn't get the message. The sender too cannot deny that what they don't send the message. So going back to integrity, integrity is saying that it's talking about the trustworthiness of data resources in terms of preventing improper or unauthorized changes. So it's saying that there are no changes in data. That means talking about the trustworthiness of data. That means if I'm sending 5,000 naira from A to B, that 5,000 naira should not change to 500 on the way. That's what integrity is saying. So if I'm sending 5,000 naira from A, is sending 5,000 naira to B. B is saying that I received that exact 5,000 naira and it's not changing. So if I'm sending a text message hi to someone, that I should not change to hello. That's what integrity is saying. But before we say that I does not change to hello, that means that we must establish that data move from one point to the other. That's what we're talking about. That data, we must establish that data move from one point to the other. Or have you ever thought about it? You call your friend, right? You call your friend in the US and you say hello on the phone. And the person heard the hello immediately. What do you think is happening? You said hello on the phone. How do you think the hello moved from one point to the other? Let me hear your thoughts. You called your friend in the US or you called your friend in Ghana and you said hello on the phone. How do you think the hello moved from your phone to the person that you are talking to? How did that hello move? I would like to hear from you. So you can just raise your hands if you understand that technology so that I also learn from you. So you call your friend, maybe the US, you call your friend, maybe a Lokoja and you said hello on your phone, or you send a WhatsApp iMessage. How do you think that iMessage move from your phone to the receiver? Okay, Paul, please go ahead.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yes, I can. Please go ahead, Paul.
Okay, all right. So, you can hear him through, okay, a connection was established. So, from your end to his end. So, as you spoke, then the voice over your IP was transferred through the traffic, through the network, and it got to him or her in wherever destination he is.
All right, that's fair enough. All right, Big Sam, please go ahead. Please make sure you change your name with Big Sam. All right, go ahead.
All right. Good morning. Can anyone hear me, please?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
All right. So, there is something we call OSI model, right? So,
Yeah.
let me just come down in a layman language. That when you dial the number, the first thing is the call actually will go to a particular ISP provider in your area, more like this mask. Then from there, it will link with another general mask and feel like, oh, I'm actually like traveling into this particular space, or even if the person is not in the country. Then these two mask or ISP, you actually link to each other. It's just like a wave migrating from one point to another.
Big Sam, I
Then
can't hear you
everything
any
actually,
longer.
okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Okay,
hear
please
you.
go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. Very well.
Okay, I said when you dial a number, so the first thing is your transmitter, or probably there is a particular wireless connection in your phone that tends to transmit the call to an ISP provider, probably a mask in your area. Then from there, the mask transmits it to more like a general mask and feel like, oh, I'm actually going to this country. Then it connects to each other before reaching the particular phone that you're trying to call. And this whole movement actually happens in like a picoseconds, more like OSI model and something like that.
All right, thank you. That was a very good one. Okay, Ebenezer, go ahead. I'll just take a few more people. It's good that we have the knowledge.
Hello?
Hello, Ebenezer, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Please go
So
ahead.
the data is said to be encrypted over the network. So that is why there's integrity is established. I can say hello, and um, the end user or the recipient can as well see the hello, or I can see hello through my phone, and the person receiving the receiver too as well can receive the hello. That yes, there's so there's data is said to be encrypted. There's end-to-end encryption. So that is that is my thought about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on. I'll still come to others. Thank you, Darasimi, Yusuf, Ayebakuro, Jude. I know. Thank you so much. I wish that everybody could talk, but due to our time, I'll just be picking few people. Okay, let me just come ahead. Now, the first thing you should know that everybody is connected. Let's talk about submarine. Everybody in the world is connected. So you can see different cables and the different owner of the cable. We have South Africa in Nigeria here. We have Glo. And in beauty, we have May one, right? We have Glow here. And there's one beauty about Glow. As much as I like them so much, When testing, actually, I prefer, sometimes I like Glow because they have their own infrastructure. Right. So you can see Glow is somewhere here. So you can see this Glow one. So, but what I'm establishing here is that everybody in the world is connected. That's the first thing you should know. So data actually move from one point to the other. The way water is moving from one point to the other, data also move from one point to the other because everybody in the world is connected. Now, later we cannot talk about policies and things that make connection goes thereby. But the first thing you should know that everybody in the world is connected. And sometimes it's so funny that some of the traffic even move to Europe before it even goes distributed abroad. But we will not go there for today. But this just will make your mind know that data, the yellow you are saying is moving from one point to the other, even though they are milliseconds, like someone rightly said. Right? Most of them are in milliseconds. So if you are talking like say, okay, I'm going to Facebook, or you are chatting someone on Facebook, Facebook is not in the cloud. So when you're talking about Facebook, this is what we are talking about. By the time you're accessing Facebook, this is what you're accessing. This is a Facebook data center. So let's say I want to send, this is Facebook. So when people talk about Hello, most of people think that maybe it's in the sky, they're looking at satellite. Yeah, we still talk about satellite technology, but not yet. But actually, I'm moving from one point to the other. So by the time I'm going to Facebook and I'm talking about cloud computing, it's virtualization. It's not like it's in the air. No. Everything boils down to hardware. So data actually move from one point to the other. So why do they move so fast? That when we talk about submarine cable map, submarine cables. So these are how some of those cables look like. They move at the speed of light. So example, I'm connecting NEPA lights from Nigeria to US, and I switch on the light. How many seconds do you think it will use to get to the US? In seconds. US will see light if I connect a cable. Yeah, because these are fiber optic cables and they move in the speed of light. All right. So this will take us to networking because before you do anything that has to be hacking, you must understand how data move from one point to the other. That's baseline. You must understand how data move from one point to the other. Because most of you say you want to do hacking. You can't understand. If I can't understand security without this basis, you can't know how to secure a system if you don't know how the technology works. Okay. And the people raising up their hands, are you asking my question or you have a question? Or also, I think we can do like this. Please, I don't know if you can drop it on the group so that people can collect their questions. So I'll have a time for question and answer. Samuel, is that possible? Is Samuel on the call?
Yes, Timmy. Okay, so there's actually a Slido link on the comment section. Just check the comment section of the call. You will see a link to Slido, or you will see if you are joining on your laptop, you will see a Slido icon. You can drop your questions there. But if you are not able to access it, for now, just drop your questions in the comments. We'll find a way to send a link, maybe a form across later on.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you so much. So please, if you have a question, just drop it there. So I will answer those questions as we move on. Okay, thank you. So like I was saying, so these are fiber optic cables that move at the speed of light. Well, let's talk a little about networking so people understand how these things works. So what is the network? What is the network? So network refers to two or more connected computers that can share resources such as data, a printer, an internet connection, application, or a combination of these resources. Right. So what are the purposes so that they can share resources? And that what makes it different between an electronic device and a network device. There are two different things. What makes a network device different is because they can share their resources. Example, if I'm looking at the fan, and if I can't share any resources, you just blame. But there's something about this. Every network device is an electronic device. but not all electronic devices are network devices. So let me come again. All network devices are electronic devices, but not all electronic devices are network devices. So you have different kind of networks. We have the local area network, we have the metropolitan area network, or some people also call it campus area network, and we have the wide area network. Now, the local area network majorly is the distance between 100 meters to make it effective. And we have cables that makes it that distance. For example, a twisted pair cable, if you want to make it very effective, majorly about 100 meters. So majorly in a building, right, where people can share resources and so on and so forth. Then we have the campus area network that can be within a city. Example, it uses radio network, radio waves. That's a metropolitan area network, right? It's just like your radio. You know that we're going from one city to other, you might not be able to hear that radio station because of the power. That's where majorly metropolitan area network does. So they work majorly with all these matters most of the time. They are used for MAN, right? So they work with radio waves. They have the wide area network where you have your internet that we are working with now. That's a wide area network. So these are different kind of networks that we have. Also, we have the one technology, that's the wide area technology. We have the laser line, we have the circuit switch, we have the frame relay, we have the broadband access, and so on and so forth like that for one. But we are not there. We have also different network topologies. We have the bus topology. These are very common. This was the old technology, and I know some of us that are little bit of age here. I remember when you used to go to cafe there and things like that. So it was majorly this bus network. Once there's a cut in cable like this, there's a problem. In fact, it was not even scalable because then if you want to start a cafe, then you have to look at your structure and tell that, okay, how many people are you looking at to start up before the introduction of hubs? Once you make a mistake like this, it's not easy to make another segment because you have built the wiring. It takes a lot of wire at that time. Once there's a misconnection or something, that's the end. You have to set up your system again. So that was bus topology. But most of you might not, people around this name might not even understand bus topology because it's not actually, I don't even think there's even cafe like that, like it used to be there. Most of you can now browse from your phone. Then you have to go to a cafe to be able to browse. You have the stack topology, which is very common now, right? Even though we don't use the hub again, I'll still talk about these network devices as we move on. We have the stack topology, in which that there's a centralized device, right, that can help traffic either a frame or, yeah, it's a frame, but most of them work with frames instead of packets. So that can help you transmit those frames from one devices to the other. So it is like a administrative device that helps. So nothing, example, if a system goes bad, if this system goes bad, it doesn't affect every other system. Since this guy is not affected, but you also have one point of failure. Once this guy is down, every other thing is down. That's the problem. So for this guy, he has only one point of failure. That's for the stack topology. They have the extended stack, all right? In which that we have segmentation. So this just talks about different segmentation. We still have now this is like the master, and we have other slaves that help with segmentation. So that's the extended stack topology, and we have the OSI layers. We have the OSI layer. Okay, it's 10:47. Let me take some questions before we go for some 10 minutes break. Please, do you have anybody with question? Please, Glory, can you read those questions to me so I can answer them and you can go for a 10 minutes break? Ms. Glory on the call. I can't hear you, Glory. Am I the only one not hearing? Samuel, please, I can't hear Glory.
Um, For now, I don't think anybody has dropped a question on the Slido link. And I'm checking the comments too. I'm not seeing any question here.
Okay. Please, for the next session when we are back, please kindly drop your question. But if you have some here, you can actually unmute and Glory Shogun, you can raise up your hand so I answer them. But for the next session, please just drop your question in that link. Thank you. Glory, please go ahead. Glory Shogun. Okay, I can't hear Glory Shogun. She's on BAM. Please, I'm so sorry if I didn't say the name well. Please go ahead.
Okay, good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Am
Good
I coming out
morning.
clear?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so my question is, when you talked about no two persons type the same way, and that makes us, even when you think you are anonymous online, you are not really anonymous. In that case, if I know that no two persons type the same way and that my keystroke can be tracked to, reveal my identity, what if I decide intentionally to change the way I type? Will the AI system that is tracking my keystroke still be able to detect that I'm the one that is typing? That's
The
my
truth is
question.
that you cannot be conscious every time now. You want to be typing one by one. No, you cannot be conscious every time. There will be some times that, of course, cannot be conscious every time. And of course, it's not a perfect system, right? It's just a correlation. When I talk about machine learning sometimes, it's not that it's going to be a perfect system. It's just a correlation that, let's say, I'm looking for someone now, maybe someone is a fraud. I can use some of these things as a supportive evidence, right? Just to see that, okay, can this be the person based on different things? So it's not like it's a 100% system.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Glory.
Can everybody hear me now? I was speaking the other time. I think it was in network. Yes, I am here, sir.
All right, there's another Glory Shogun on the call. That she's
Okay.
raising up her hands. Thank you so much. Okay, I can't say Glory. I think you have to sort out your mic so that we can hear you, or you drop your question on the box so that I can answer that question. Anybody with any other question? So by the time we come back, I'm going to take it at a higher rate so we can finish our objective for today. All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you by 11 o'clock. Okay.
Please don't leave the call. I will advise you to just stay. You can just mute your mic and go about your other activities. If you miss your Instagram, you can check your Instagram. If you miss your Twitter, you can check your Twitter. If you want to check on your friends, you can check on your friends. But please don't leave the call.
Good morning. Please, can I ask a question
Yes, is it about the class or about the program?
about the program?
Okay, go ahead. I'm here to answer.
Sorry, I around 20 minutes in. So I don't have any video or audio recording of what was said before that time, please.
Of what was said. Oh, okay, you said you joined late.
Yeah, like 20 minutes after 10. Like
Yes,
network
there
seems
is
to
a
not be.
recording. Yes, there is a
Okay,
recording
thank
to
you.
be shared. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello, Glory, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here. I'm here. Do you want to ask a question?
Yes, please. I want to ask about I just typed in the chat
You're
now.
cracking.
Hello, can you hear me, Glory?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. I just dropped a question in the chat now asking about how we can get the PDF of this training and the recording. That's just my question.
Okay, it will be shared with you on the group chat. We share the link during the week. Habib, right?
Yes, Habib. Yes.
Yes, yes. Ibe, we'll share the links to the PDF during the week.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Glory Shegun, your hand has been up for since the beginning of the meeting. Do you have anything to say? Oh, okay. 3 of you. Interesting. I think I would have to come up with. I'll send a form to the group so that we can put in our questions about. Fashola Sokade, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Yeah.
Sorry, I joined late, so probably around probably I was able to enter around that 10:32 or 33. So I want to ask that is the attendance. Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I want to ask what is probably the time for attendance maybe being closed so that in case.
We cannot share when the time for the attendance will be closed to everyone. You just have to be available in the class. Just attend classes. So I hope you're still on the call. Okay, so just attend classes and don't worry. And pray. I'm just joking. Just be available for the class. Be available for the class. That is why I said do not leave the call. Stay on the call. If you have anything to do, you can go and do it and come back to the call once the meeting is over. Once the your break is over. I hope I've answered your question. We cannot share here. We cannot share when we're downloading the list here. Chizobam, you can unmute yourself.
I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Yes. I yesterday on the call yesterday they were saying that someone could transition from pen test to defensive security. Is that still possible? Like
from
right
what?
now, defensive security, like from offensive to defensive security.
Yes, you can do that. For everybody that is on the call, they might be confused about what. I'm coming, please. I want to be sure of person speaking. Please, what's your name?
Salah Daud.
Yes, hello. For everyone confused, we had our internship induction yesterday, and that is a totally different program. So yes, you can move from the offensive to the defensive side. That is your question, right?
Yes.
Yes, you just need to take a couple of trainings, and yes, you will be able to move to the defensive side. So that is a thing that you will have to speak. You can speak to me, and you can also speak to your community manager in the internship community. You are in a community,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Yes, so you can speak to them after please, if you have any questions, you need to be quick with them as we will be starting your class very soon. Okay, next person, Chizobam, do you want to ask a question or should I go straight to Ugo?
Yes, I want to ask a question.
Please be quick, yes.
Okay, so I want to ask if a separate group can be created where there won't be chat, so that if there's any important message, it will be dropped in that group and it will not be overshadowed by chats, so that we don't miss important informations.
Oh, okay. You mean a separate WhatsApp group aside from the one we already have?
Yes.
Okay, that will be considered. We'll get back to you about that.
All right, thank you.
Yes, you are welcome. Okay, you have 2 minutes left. Who wants to go next? Ugo, do you want to ask your question?
Yes, please. My question is about the certificates that we will be getting. I just want to know if it will be a paid certificate or
no, it is free.
Okay.
The certificate is free. Yes, certificate is free. Okay, next, Steven,
Hi.
you have 2 minutes left. Yes, please be quick.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, I'm sorry, please, just a
Yeah.
second. Glory Shegun, I think you seem to have something with your network. Please type your question in the chat. So, Steven,
Can
go
I say?
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Azim. I asked a question relating to this offensive and defensive yesterday. I sent an email, and I'm still expecting. My question is it not against the company policy if an intern can do both the offensive and defensive?
You said you sent an email, right, concerning this
But
question?
I've not gotten a response.
Oh, you will get a
So
response
my
very
question
soon.
is, can an intern do both, or is it against the policy?
Of the company.
Yes.
You know what? Any questions pertaining to the internship program, please direct it to your community management or to your community manager and the internship community. How about that? This is the training for the SEPS program.
Okay.
Do you
Okay.
understand? I'm sorry. I'm trying to answer other
Yeah, I
questions.
understand you totally.
Yes,
Fine.
yes. Thank you very much. Your class will be starting in a minute, so I will answer the other questions later or come back with a form so that you can ask your questions there. So yes, please rest and swallow your breath while you prepare for your class. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Glory. Glory Shegun dropped a message on our group that she can't see the screen, but she can hear. So, Glory Shegun, if you can hear me, I'll tell you that try to restart your network, maybe disconnect and reconnect back again. It happens sometimes on Teams when you won't be able to see the screen, but usually it's because of network. So try to probably join another network and join the meeting again. That problem will be solved. All right. So that's why she's been raising her hand. Okay, so I hope that helps you. Okay. We'll be starting in a minute. We still need more people to join. If you called anyone to register for either of the program, both essential and internship, please remind them the cyber entry program is ongoing, and I believe you've been learning a lot already. Your instructor will be with you in just few.
All right, thank you, Samuel. I hope everybody was able to get a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, you were able to stretch your legs. Okay, so let's go to what we have for this next section. So we are talking about the OSI model. The OSI model. So please, for this section, kindly, if you have a question, kindly use the link provided for you. So towards the end of this session, I'll be able to answer this question. Thank you very much. So OSI model was the open system interconnection, right? And Glory, you are still raising up your hands. Glory Shegun, I lower the hand, you are still, uh, okay, thank you. So open system interconnection, and one of the issues that we had before, when the internet came in and it went to the Department of Defense and so on and so on, AfriNet, ApraNet, and so on. I won't go to the issue of internet. But one of the issues that came around is it was proprietary in which that only IBM machines, those were one of the first machines, were able to communicate with IBM machines, right? So there was no technology that make everybody want to communicate together. Example, there was no actual, well, let's just say Cisco and Juniper machines will communicate with Juniper machines, Cisco to Cisco, and things like that. And it was also to a particular community or a particular state. So some people came around, majorly ISOs, okay, let's create a standard that anybody could communicate irrespective of the devices you are using. As we're on this call, a lot of people are using different devices, but yet we're able to communicate, right? So let's create a standard, let's create a protocol in which that is an open system, right? And it's open system interconnection. So that what brought about this OSI model. So no matter the devices, no matter the technology you are using, we can all communicate. Which is a very good suggestion, a very good implementation in with that everybody, some people are using Apple devices, some people are using Samsung devices. Some of the ISP I've been using different technology. Some are using Huawei, some are using Juniper, some are using Cisco. But yes, we are all able to communicate, right? That's the beauty of the open system interconnection. They have the 7 layers, right? So we have the application, the presentation, the section, the transport, network, data link, and the physical layer. Okay. So I'm going to explain this as simple as possible so you don't have to get any issues with it. So the application layer, okay, let me use a whiteboard here. Glory, please confirm to me that you can't see my whiteboard.
Yes, I can see your white.
All right, thank you. But why is... Oh, please don't draw my whiteboard, though. Why is everybody having access to this? Please don't draw my whiteboard. Thank you. I should have please, Glory, next time, please find a way to block people from my whiteboard.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So please just move yourself away from the whiteboard. Thank you so much. Okay. So you have the OSI layer, you have the application. So I'm sorry about my handwriting, so just follow. We have the presentation, we have the section, we have the transport, we have the networks, we have the data link, and we have the physical. And this is going to be a lot of issues because a lot of people are disturbing my whiteboard. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can clear something that's this whiteboard. Okay, all right. That's better. Now, this application is like how to send a hi message. How to send a hi message from my friend. I'm not sending an hi message. I'm
Sorry,
sending
sir,
the
please, we can't see the whiteboard.
You can't see the whiteboard.
Yes, sir, we're not seeing it. If you check the comment section, there are a lot. We can't see it.
Oh, wow.
I can see the whiteboard on my side.
Maybe
I
it's
think
the
it's
network.
network for some people. Can everybody, if you cannot see it, please just react. Let me see how many people cannot see it.
We can't see it.
Sorry, we can't see it.
My
We can see. We can
we
see.
can see it.
I can see it.
mine is showing whiteboard in
Mine
progress.
is saying that I don't have access.
Okay,
I
there's
can
no.
I
see
can
the
see everything
whiteboard.
you're doing.
I can see
I
it.
can
Well.
see it.
I can see everything you're doing.
I
I
can
can
see
see
it
it
here.
as
I
well
can
from my
see it here.
end.
I
Okay,
can
don't
see
I
it.
can
worry.
see.
Don't worry, just wait. Okay, so you can see my screen here, right?
Yes,
Yes,
yes. You
yes.
can see it.
Yes, we
Yes.
can see it now.
Yes, you can.
Yes, we can.
So we have the application layer. We have the representation layer. Please still give me a minute. I'm ready for me to use my mouse to type it. Let me see if I can use another thing. A minute. Because some people are unable to see the whiteboard. That is able to see this. So can everybody see the screen now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, your screen is visible. Your screen is
Okay.
visible, sir.
So you have the application layer, you have the presentation layer, you have the section layer.
Sorry, sir, nothing is showing.
Is everybody saying the same thing?
No, I'm not saying
Yes,
it.
when you went
It's
when you
just
went off
OE.
it,
Yes, sir.
OE.
But
Yes,
can you
we
see
can
my
see
screen
the
now?
screen now.
yes,
We can see.
Yes, I
Yes,
can
we
Yes,
see
we
can.
can
you.
Yes,
see
sir.
your
I can
screen.
see the
No, I
screen
cannot
too.
see your screen.
Yes, I
No.
can see your screen.
So we can't see my screen. It's probably network. That means the network. So please try and fix your network.
Can see your screen.
Okay, so yeah,
You
just
can't see
follow
the
up.
screen. You can drop the call and rejoin.
Exactly. So I'll not waste time. So you have the transport layer, we have the network layer, we have the data link layer, and we have the physical layer. So if I'm sending hi from a friend, let's say from Nigeria, to a friend in, let's say, US, and let's say I'm also sending a car, right? From Nigeria to a friend in the US. So the first thing I need to do if I want to send a car is to go to someone that will help me, right? Let's say DHL. So that's how like the application layer. So DHL is like the application layer where the interface between me and the process. The same thing happen in your application layer, right? Where we have different protocol at the application layer where you have your file transfer protocol. Most of you use HTTP or HTTPS, majorly HTTPS. But we are saying with HTTP, you know that there's a problem, right? And also DNS, your domain name system, which helps you right, with the protocol to communicate. That was about the network, or rather the application layer, right? So they help you with the end user, the interface with you and the end user. And most of you, when you get to DHL, you don't bother again. You send your car, you don't want to know how the car moved. The same thing when you go to your WhatsApp and you text the iMessage. Most of you don't know what happened at the end. You only just to press the iMessage and it marks double. Now, if it doesn't mark double, you and the ISP now has problem. So most of you, that's everything that you know, which is more than that. So that's just the application layer. Now, we have the presentation layer. Let's say you get to DHL, of course, receptionist will meet with you. That serves as a protocol, maybe HTTPS that helps you with you www or whatever you are doing. Even some use over SSL or over HTTP. That's fine. Now, the presentation layer talks, a lot of things happen at this presentation layer. Right? The first thing is that what kind of message are you sending? That what the session will ask you. It talks about the type of message. Is it a CSV file? Is it a JPEG file? So please don't mind my writing, just follow up with what I'm saying, right? So I still expect you to go back and read, but what I'm doing for you is that by the time you are going back to read, you can relate it to life scenarios as simple as possible, but you don't need to cram the SLA. It should be part and parcel of it, which is very important. We have the presentation layer where it talks about the type of message you are sending first. And let's say you are sending a card, distribute that you are sending a card. Some things happen at the session layer. One, you can encrypt here. Encryption can happen. Encryption and decryption happen at the presentation layer. Even some people can see that, okay, they want to put cocaine inside the car. That is fine. They're encrypting something inside the car. Some people want to put more goods inside the car. They can do all those. at the presentation layer. Also here, you can compression can happen here. You can compress the file. Compression also happen at the presentation layer, where it's that when you take the car, see that sometimes DHL will remove the tires, remove the engine, and things like that, so they can compress that data you're sending. So those are some of the things that happen at the presentation layer. Then we have the session layer that talks about dialogue. So let's talk about dialogue. And there's something you should notice, right? It talks about section. Not two processes happen or not two messages come into our phone at the same time. Right? They come in one after the other. There's always the notification that follow pam pam, not at the same time. That means there's a dialogue that gives them entering and when they are going out at each point in time. Example, the Facebook notification also come in. They come in one after the other, that section. The only thing that has direct priority on the device is call, and it has an interrupt. That means no matter who is on the queue, once the phone is coming in, no, if they're 100 on the queue, it doesn't care if we enter direct because that's an interrupt. Right. So at the section layer, we have dialogue. And there are some things that happen also at the section layer. So let's talk a little about the section layer. Let's talk about some communication at the section layer. Let me just put a table here. So section layer. So we have some kind of communication at the section layer. The first one is a simplest communication. We have a simplest communication. And this is a one-way communication. A simplest communication is a one-way communication. You can give me an example of a one-way communication. That means the sender can only send but cannot receive. The receiver can only receive and cannot send. No, walkie-talkie is not a simplest, not a one-way communication.
Radio. What about computer?
Yes, a radio is a simple example. Example, if someone say that you are very stupid on the radio, you can only hear. If you mention your name, AYZ, you are a very stupid person. You just cast around and you say that, well, until I see this person, I'll be the person. But at that moment, you cannot reply. You can just receive the message until you see the person. But the person sending it to you is not so sure that you will get the message. Right? So the sender is not so sure that I get the message, but the receiver too got the message. I cannot reply the message. So that's the one-way communication. You can send, but you cannot receive. You can also receive, but you cannot send. That's the one-way communication. Then we have the half duplex. We have the half duplex communication. Remember, I'm still on integrity on cybersecurity. That was brought us to all these things to break down how data move from one point to the other, which is the baseline. Good. So this is a two-way communication. It's a two-way communication. So please notice the arrow, the pointing of the arrow. This is sender, this is receiver. This is sender, this is receiver. It's a two-way communication, but one at a time. There's a two-way communication, but one at a time. And someone got it right. Someone said a walkie-talkie. That's a simple example. A walkie-talkie is an example. In which that I can't talk and hear at the same time. If you try it, if you press the button at the same time, if the receiver and the sender press the button, some of you will run away because of the echo you will hear in your heads. So you can only talk at a time and you can only receive at a time. And another example is a hub. I'll still talk about this later on. A hub is also a half duplex device. Then the last one, we have the full duplex. We have the full duplex communication. Now notice the arrow, you can see it's simultaneous. We have the sender, we have the receiver. Now, this is also a two-way communication, but it's happening simultaneously. It's not one at a time again. That's a full duplex. Example is your mobile phone. Your phone is a two-way communication. You can send, you can hear what the person is saying, I can talk. There's not left for both of you to have sense that you are not barbarians, for someone to wait for the other person. But both of you can talk and receiver. In fact, there's some people say with the way they talk, they should use a walkie-talkie because some of them they will not be talking without listening. So there's some people that I think that they should still provide walkie-talkie for them with the way they have communication. But I'm just kidding. But if mobile phone is actually a two-way communication, right? And another example is a switch, a network switch. I should talk about what a network switch is as we go on. So that's about the session layer. I'm sorry, I have to clean my board. I wanted to use the whiteboard where I could have more space. But please, you can go back to this video or you can follow me as I move. But if you can't, of course, you have recording to the videos, right?
Yes, we do. We have some complaints. Some people cannot see, but they can hear you. They cannot see the screen, cannot see your screen, but they can hear your voice.
Oh, there's nothing I can do about that at the moment.
How many of you cannot see? For me, just a second.
When I used the whiteboard, a lot of people were not seeing it. That's why I have to use this method, which is not so comfortable for me. So I said I should go back to the whiteboard now. Some people will complain, I can't see, I can't do this, I can't do that. Oh, Glory, do you suggest we go back to the whiteboard?
No, because if we still go back to the whiteboard, they might not still see it because a lot of more of them did not see it then. So I think we should continue like this. Go on,
Okay,
let
so
me
please,
figure out yes,
Actually,
how to get some of them to see it. I
actually,
think someone
it,
said they
the
rejoined and they can
network.
see it now.
You can
Please, if
rejoin.
you
Once
can
you
share your
rejoin,
phone,
you will see
please.
the screen.
okay.
Exactly. So they just need to rejoin. Yes, they just need to keep rejoining the training.
All right, so please, you also have access to the videos. All right, so that's about the section layer. That's about the section layer. So normally all these are still high level. They're high level protocols. You mean that these 3C, they are still under the application layer in the DoD model. Both the application, the presentation, and the section layer, they've not left your phone or your device, right? Both the section and they are still the upper layer protocols in which, in the compressed model, which is the DoD model or TCP/IP, all these things are just compressed to the application layer, right? But I just needed to split it up so that you understand what is going on. That's why I splitted it. Then let's talk about where the transportation starts. Now, yeah, DHL has given it a session that, okay, this car will leave DHL by the 17th of January. That's a section. They give it a section that, okay, this is the day is meant to leave DHL. They'll write it on the parcel. That's a section. Now, transportation starts from this transport layer. Now, from this transport layer now, that's when your packets start moving. And at this transport layer, we are talking about end-to-end delivery. End-to-end delivery, yeah. We are talking about end-to-end delivery. So now let's give an example that let's say the cars goes through Anambra Port, clothing go through Lagos Port and things like that. So there are specific ports. Here we are talking about ports also. So now we are carrying the car to maybe Lagos Port. That's the way it will go out of the country. So we're talking about end-to-end delivery, we're talking about the transport layer, right? And we have different network ports. So those are one of the assignments I'll give to you today. You must learn about ports and their functions. So I want you guys to learn at least, please, Glory can drop it on the group for them. About 30 common ports and their function. 30 common ports and their functions. So let me drop it for them. It's very essential. You can't be very good in cybersecurity without knowing ports and their function. Those are the basics. And that's why I'm going down to the basics. Right, so you must understand ports and their functions. Okay. So let's talk about some things at the transport layer. Let's talk about some things at the transport layer. And please, that person should mute their mic now. Okay. So the transport layer. So there are two major protocols we're talking about at the transport layer. We have the TCP and the UDP. So those are the protocols we'll be talking at the transport layer. So what is TCP? TCP is Transmission Control Protocol. So this is system A. This is system B. So what TCP is saying that TCP is a connection-oriented protocol and it's a very reliable protocol. Let's say our car now is at Lagos Port. So what TCP port is saying that before that port goes to, let's say the car is going to Miami Port. Miami Port and Lagos Port will have communicated about that car coming before it goes. That's what they mean by connection related, right? Now, before A and B can connect, let's say this Lagos Port, this is Miami Port, our car is going to. Lagos Port will have sent the iMessage, although I'm just using this as a simple example, just for us to understand, which is called a sync. Hello, B, how are you? That's the iMessage. That means I want to communicate. It's a sync message. Then B will reply, the person. Of course, the reply of I is hello. Is that correct? So hello is like an acknowledgement to I. That means I acknowledge the hi you sent to me. So first put that. The hello means acknowledge. They can go ahead to ask that, how are you doing? How are you doing? That's a sync. So we have it here. The first is sync, which is the hi message. Then the person responded with hello, where we have the sync plus app. We call it sync plus app. In which that system B acknowledge and also ask the question, how are you doing? Right? Then A will just respond and acknowledge the how are we doing with I am fine. I am fine. So the process of this communication of the sync plus app and acknowledgement is what we call a three-way handshake. So before any communication happen in a TCP, and now this is very important because by the time we go to scanning of a system, also for the defensive people, by the time you are securing a system, this is very important because we can get a lot of information with this protocol once you understand this protocol. So you can manipulate this getting if the port is open or closed or filtered. The same thing at the defense side, you might want to know if someone is trying to gain or enumerate your system just from understanding this protocol. We can write a lot of rules from just this protocol. So we have the three-way handshake. Yeah. So before any communication can happen between system A, Lagos and Miami Port, which is going to send the car from Lagos Port to Miami Port, they must first do this communication, which makes it work connection oriented. Now, what makes TCP very reliable? And that's what I'm going to be talking about. The first feature of TCP is what we call flow control. One of the features of TCP that makes it reliable is flow control. So let's say I have system A. So I might have to use my razor. This board is full already. I'm just managing this because of people that can't see are not so comfortable. Please hope you are following. Let me say a thumbs up if you are following and you are not misplaced though. Okay, let me use this time to answer questions. Please, are there any questions for me so that I can quickly answer them? There's a name for me to go back. I'm good. Has anybody dropped any question?
No, sir, there's no question on the group chat.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyways. So we have system A, we have system B. So let's say this system A, the configuration is 16 gig RAM. It has a frequency of 3.2 gigahertz. And it can send the bandwidth, let's say it can send, just a simple example, 90 MB per second. Like that's what this guy can do. And let's say like Core i9. Then we have system B. Let's say system B is 4 gig RAM. And this guy has 1.7 gigahertz. And this guy can receive message only at 30 MB per second. And let's say it's called i3. Now, this A wants to send a message to B. A wants to send a message to B. And let's say the message is just, how are you? Let's say the message is, how are you? So let's say this is a message you want to send. How are you? Now let's say this packet is 90 MB. And of course, with the configuration that we have here, A can send it once to B. Is that correct? It can send the message per 1 second because this hour is 90 MB and A can send at 90 MB per second. So if you want to send the message to B, you will send it at how are you. But if A is sending as 90 MB per second to B, of course, what do you think will happen to B? B will crash at the end of the day. Because B can only send and receive as 30 MB per second. So there's a problem. There's a configuration with higher speed. There's another configuration with a lower speed. So what TTP does is that now there's a problem. If I'm sending like this to B, B will not get my message. That will not make me very reliable. But I need B to be reliable and get on my message. That's the beauty of TCP. So this is what this guy does here. He's going to look at B. B can receive. Then A will tell B. A can send a message to B, like a sync message. I want to send 90 MB per second message to you. Now remember that B has an idea, just like Lagos Port and Miami. Lagos Port and Victor Miami Port. I'm sending a ship and to get to Miami by 9 p.m. tomorrow. So Miami is aware that, okay, the ship of, let's say, 30 or 40 cargo container is coming tomorrow exactly by 12 p.m. So they have an idea. They are preparing for that space already. So A has told me that come out to send at 90 MB per second. Then B, we acknowledge that, okay, that's fine. You are sending a message, but I can only receive at 30 MB per second. Then A will send like the last message. And then, okay, I will send at what? 30 MB per second. That means they agreed on a flow control. That's the beauty of TCP. They agreed on a flow control before even sending the message at all. Because if A is sending at a rate of 90 MB per second to a system that is as low efficiency as B, at the end of the day, B will crash. And that's why sometimes in those days, okay, let me first explain that. So number one, we've talked about flow control. Please, I'm so sorry about my board, but if we just manage it. Number two is error correction. So another thing that happens at B, at TCP rather, is what we call error correction. And let me see if I can see another space here that will make me have more space to draw. Okay, I think it is a space. I need a space. So I'm looking for where I can get a space so I can make more drawings. Okay, I think there's a space. So this, we are still on our system. Don't forget our configuration of I9 and so on and so forth. And this system B. So another thing I'm talking about, number 2, is error correction. So this ball A we do, of course, is sending at 30 kilobytes per second. Just like Lagos, Miami want to send like 50 ships. Then Miami said that no, Lagos don't send 50 ships today. We can't accommodate 50 ships because a lot of people are coming. If all of you come at the same time, there'll be problem. But you can send per day two ships to us. And please, that person should mute now. Glory, please, anybody that his mic is on, disable the mic. Please kindly let me disable that mic. You don't need to mute. Disable that person. Thank you. So they have about two shift coming in for the day. So let's say he splitted this RYU into 3. How? He needs to move at a higher rate. U. So this is 1, this 2, this 3. That's sequence number. And each of them is like 30 MB. Remember that this guy can only receive at 30 MB per second. Right? So this guy can take any measure. Let's say I got here first. You got here next. Then how is missing. Like I told you that data move from one point to the other. So of course data can be missing because they move from one point to the other. So anything can make data move. Now this both of them is 60 MB. But remember that from their pre-talk, this guy is expecting 90 MB. So you know that something is wrong because it's also receiving 60 MB. I remember back in the days where we were using all the CPR phones. If you send 2 more messages, and you can get one today. Then next tomorrow is when you see the complete message because the kind of TCP they were using there. Even though they wanted to give you the full complete message, but because of the kind of technology we were using then, they were lagged. So they tell that this is the number of messages you can send though. Let's say maybe 90 words that you can send. If you go more than that, you might not see the some of them we cut. Then you see the full maybe the next day or next week. That's when you see the full message. So what can B do? B can tell A, come, our initial conversation, we talked about 90 MB. But I'm seeing 60 here. That's where error correction comes in. So A can decide to send all the package again, or of course, send it out together. Now, because this guy has sequence number, they will rearrange and B will get how are you. So that's how error correction actually works. And that's the beauty of TCP. So there's error correction. That's what makes it reliable. And the third one also is I thought about flow control, window size, but we don't need to talk about that much. Now, where is TCP applicable? Where reliability is more important than the speed of the message. That's where TCP is used. Where the reliability of the packet is more important than the speed of the packet. Example, if I'm sending 5,000 to someone, the completion of that 5,000 is more important than the speed even the 5,000 came in. If I'm sending an email to someone, the complete message of that email is more important because half email can mean another information. If the email is not complete, it can mean another communication process. So we are looking for where reliability, example, documents. I want the full document. I don't want half of the document because the ability of that document is more important than the speed of that document getting to me. So we use TCP where the ability is more important than the speed of the packet. So that's the part TCP. Then let's talk about the second protocol, UDP. I have to move at a very fast rate. Yeah. So for UDP is user datagram protocol, UDP. We have system A, we have system B. Still the same configuration, i9, 3.2 gigahertz. This guy is high 3. Now, for UDP, A doesn't care about B. There's nothing like three-way handshake because UDP is connectionless and it's not reliable. So once A, they tell A that come, we want you to send a message to B. It does not have any pre-talk with B. That 90, how are you message? You just send it directly to B. If B like it should crash, if B like it should accommodate, that's B's problem. So A does not care about B. And where this technology used, where the speed of that data is more important than the reliability of that data. Example is streaming. If I'm streaming football now, I don't want to go back. I don't even want you to do any error correction. I want it in time. Example, you're at 30 minutes. It's not correcting the first minute. It's going back to first minute. Won't you be angry? You'll be angry. Some of you say it's lagging 2 minutes. You're already angry. So in streaming of live program, the speed of that data is more important than the reliability of that data. You want it in real time. And that's where you use what UDP, where the speed of the data is more important, or there's a large scale you want to do, like a broadcast stuff. So the speed of the data is more important than the ability of that data. So that's the transport layer. So let's move on to the network layer. Now we are at the port, right? Our car is already at the port. Lagos port has already communicated with Miami port. So they can start to use UDP or UDP or TTP. Now if they are using UDP now, Lagos port will not communicate with Miami port. They just said all the 10 ships to Miami port. So it's when it gets to Miami, they'll be like, ship is a port now. So Miami can decide to close for the day, but if they can accommodate, they will accommodate it. But for TCP, they will have told Miami port before sending that form we are sending, they will have agreed on the flow control of the number of ships that should leave from Nigeria to Miami port. So that was happening at the transport layer. Okay, so let's move to the network layer, which is our next layer. Let me erase this. Okay, it's almost 12 o'clock. I have to move at a faster speed. But this is slowing me down because a lot of people need to see this. Please, are we following? If you're having issues, let me know. If you're having any issues, let me know.
Yeah, good, sir.
All right, thank you. Okay, let me respond to some people. Olusanya, please go ahead. What issues are you having? We are the network layer. Olusanya, please unmute and talk. Okay, no issues. Farouk, please go ahead. Okay, no. Okay. Let's take a 10 minutes break. We'll be back by 12 p.m. Thank you. All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I will answer this question when you come back by 12 p.m. So you can take a nap, you can walk around, you can take a cup of coffee if you want to. All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you by 12 p.m. Can anybody see my screen?
No. Yes, sir, I can see your screen, but we have a couple of questions when you are ready to take them, sir.
Okay, let me start with the question. So that by the time I finish the question, everybody should be able to see my screen. Okay, please go ahead with the questions.
Okay, sir. So the first question coming from Messi David, the person said, since TCP is connection oriented, is it the reason why encryption mostly happen on the TCP, or data can be encrypted to over the UDP, even though there is a tendency of it dropping some of the data?
Yes, no.
Did you hear me? Did you hear me, sir?
Yes, sorry, I thought, yeah. Encrypting UDP, yes, is very possible, but CLS is more efficient because it can be very challenging. Because there's built-in reliability as a lacks reliability naturally. So UDP lacks reliability. So encrypting UDP can be very, very, very challenging. That's why most of the time you use TCP for encryption. That's correct. You even answered the question yourself. Okay. Please, does that answer the person's question?
Mercy David, I hope that answers your question. So for the next
Yes,
person,
yes.
person
Thank
said
you.
they want to
So you
know.
can look,
Okay.
so you can also look at datagram TLS if you want to stick to one. And look at datagram TLS. Okay, please go ahead. Glory, sorry about
Yes,
that.
that's fine. So for the next person, Adebowale Said, he says he wants to know if system A will downgrade to system, so he will receive the message.
No, there's no degradation of system. They agree on the flow control. There's no degradation of system. They agree on the flow control.
All right. I hope Adebowale Said is listening. Then the next person, Chidebere asked if the classes will be made available after now. Yes, recordings will be posted on the group during the week. The next person, Idioha Emmanuel. I'm sorry, I hope I did not murder your name. So the person said common ports, we have ports 80,443 for HTTP stroke HTTPS, port 20 stroke 21 for FTP.
No, don't
port
read it. That's for
25.
no, thank you, Glory. They should do that assignment.
Oh,
30 common port at their function is an assignment.
okay. Then the next person, Samuel said, how does TCP manage congestion when a web page loads many tabs? So the browser doesn't stall.
Please come again with that again.
How does TCP manage congestion
That's
when
another
a web
aspect. Now, if you're talking from the web is another aspect. We're talking from the server you are going is another aspect. That will talk about load balancer, priority of service, and things like that. That's another aspect. But if it's on your own system, you go to your RAM now.
All right, sir. So I hope Samuel listened to that. Then we have Farouk. Can you please explain further regarding the session layer? What is the difference between half duplex and full duplex since they are both two-way?
So one is one at a time. You can send and receive at the same time. Right? You have to send and wait to receive. So either you send or you receive. You can't do both at the same time. Right? But for full duplex, you can do both at the same time. You can send and receive at the same time. That's a major difference.
All right. I hope Farouk heard that. Then the next person said, why do we need the OCI model if the TCP stroke IP model is what is actually used on the internet?
Now, this is just like I said when I was coming in. Some of these concepts for you to understand whether one is used or the other is not used frequently. I'm not going into that. Why I'm breaking it down is because I know that some people might not understand. That's why I'm picking it one by one. If I want to be fast, I'll just use the TCP/IP model. It's more complex. And I've loved to do the English jargon or technical jargon and move on. But I'm trying to make a lot of people understand the concept so they don't need to cram it. They can relate to it. So that's why we are doing that.
All right. All right. I hope Kolade Ogbon heard that. Then the next person, we have Jude. The person said, what do you mean by UDP? I didn't understand the error correction definition.
I didn't talk about error correction in UDP. I talked about error correction in TCP. UDP doesn't have error correction.
All right. All right. I think it's two different questions. The person's first one was, what do you mean by UDP? Then the second one was, I didn't understand the error correction definition.
Okay, so the simple is that UDP doesn't care about who is sending the message to. It's connectionless. It's not reliable. Don't look at streaming, right? Where speed is more important than the reliability of the data. That's UDP, Digital Data Protocol. That's simply about it's not reliable and it's connectionless. You don't need, example, Lagos and Miami port now. You don't need to tell Miami port that your car is coming. Just what I've explained it. You just send the car to Miami port. So sometimes your system can crash. If you are sorry that are streaming, sometimes I know that it lags because some of the system cannot handle that technology. It's the same process. That's really big. An error correction means that what if the packet is missing, right? TCP knows how to correct that. That's error correction. Okay, so let's go to the network layer.
Sorry, please, can you repeat yourself?
For which one again?
For that TCP and UDP.
Now, TCP is connection oriented. That means both of them have to talk before there's a flow control. Example, Lagos and Miami port now for TCP. If I'm sending that SIM card to Miami port, I'll have told Miami upfront, they call them AIS at the aviation, right? They will have gotten every information about the airfield, about the port for that day, all the information they need to get, so that they will not just send a ship to Miami. Miami will have done a pre-communication, or Lagos will have done a pre-communication with Miami port that, okay, 5 ships are coming today. We'll be able to accommodate them. This is the number of ships that can accommodate for today before they start sending at all. That is TCP. But for UDP, they don't have any communication. They just send the number of ships they can send. If Miami like, they should accept that. If Miami like, they should crash. If Miami like, they should handle all of them. They don't even know if Miami can accommodate them or they cannot. That's what UDP does. It just send the packet to it doesn't care about you. So that's about UDP. Does that make sense,
All right.
Jim?
Yes, makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, so for the network layer, here we are talking about packets. Please let me look at the person. Okay. No problem. Someone is not muted. Please let me mute that person or disable the person's mic. Okay, so at the network layer here now, and I'm talking about the IP protocol, Ethernet protocol. Now, our car has gotten to the port. The next thing is that I need to travel now. So this is where we're talking about the plane and maybe the ship. The plane and the ship, because these are international carriers. And here you can also talk about the router, because the router is a layer 3 device. It's just like your plane and your ship. Example, your plane is not registered by Nigeria. It's registered by a body called Accra because it's an international carrier. So it's not like fleet number that you can't get. No, a plane is different or a ship, right? They are different because they are international carriers and they must be recognized. That's where if a plane is coming to our airspace, people like NAMA can know that, okay, this plane is coming in, and they can know what to do if it's authorized or not. Because they are carrying a unique identity. Right. The same thing with the IP address, which are logical IP address. It's called internet protocol. It's a logical IP, it's a logical address, right? So for your IP, we have, let's first talk about IPv4 and IPv6. IPv4 and IPv6. What is IPv4? That is Internet Protocol version 4. So for IPv4, we have, let me use something like this. So we have 4 octets. Although we still do binary to do. So get ready. So this is 8 bits, this is 8 bits, this is 8 bits, this is 8 bits. So 8 times 4 will give you 32 bits. So there are some things we need to know beforehand. A bit binary is what we call 0 and 1. Binary can either be 0 or 1. Although we have quantum energy, but we not put there so that I'll not blow some people's head. So they know it's either 0 or it's neither 1. But for now, let's stick to this. Binary is either 0 or 1, which is a bit. So 4 bits. So let's say I have a combination of 0, 1, 0, 1. It can either be 0 or 1. So 4 bits, this is 4 bits, by count is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is equal to 1 nibble. We call it 1 nibble. Nibble. 8 bits. If I have 8 bits, let's say 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is equal to 1 byte. So let me stop here for now till we move on. So let's just note this. 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. That's 8 of either zeros or 1, or the combination
Sorry,
of
boss,
both.
please, we can't see the whiteboard.
How many people can see?
Like we can see it, but you can't see what you are writing.
I can see it too.
I
So I
can't see
think
it too from the very
the
beginning.
other one you were using is better than this one.
Okay, it's better. All
It
right,
says
I'll do that.
whiteboarding in progress.
Okay, let me go back to what I was using. It's because I could not move at the
Once you
fast speed.
refresh,
So I'll go
once you
back to what
refresh, it comes back.
it comes back a bit. Though I'll go back to what I was using
Yes.
before. I'll go back to what. No, I'll go back to it now. Give me some minute. So I wanted to go on a fast speed, but that's explaining that. But don't worry, I'll go back to it. So,
Thank you, boss.
Good morning, it's afternoon. Good afternoon. Please, is Miss Glory here? Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
yes, I can. Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
Yes. Please, I just want to. I'm still on my same complaint too. Like I cannot see him, like but I can hear him. I've joined with another device.
Okay, don't worry. I'm using another method now. Since a lot of people are complaining about the white screen. So the white screen was slowing me down, but I think I'll go back to what I was doing before.
No, my own complaint is even I've not been seeing from the very beginning of the meeting. I have joined and I've left and rejoined for more than like 5 times now.
Okay, wait online like that. No, I wait online. I'll wait as if you can see now. I'll wait online.
Okay.
Okay, the person complaining, can you see the screen?
No, I cannot. I'm just seeing your name. That's the O and the E. That's all I'm
Oh,
seeing.
that will be your network.
Still my network again.
Okay. Can anybody see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your
Yes.
screen now.
Yes,
Yes, sir, we
yes,
can
sir.
see it.
Yes.
Yes, we can see you.
So, Glory Shagun, can you now see my screen?
Absolutely.
No, I cannot.
Suggestion.
Who else
Yes, I
is
So
in glory shoes?
I have a
can
suggestion.
hear
To
him,
the
but I
lady,
cannot
I
see
can
his
see.
screen.
Yeah, so I'm trying to know that if she's the only one so that she can link up with a colleague of mine so they can help her through. So Glory,
Is she
please.
to verify she's using a phone or laptop? She can change the viewing settings. Is a phone.
Okay, Glory, you heard that. Are you using it for a mobile device? I've read a mobile device or a laptop.
I was using a tab, then now it's a phone.
Locate the
Using
section
phones
under
to
meeting.
I
Under
thought
I think it's
meeting,
the,
it
What?
should be
it's the
under
view
not
settings.
large gathering.
So please, can one person just talk?
Okay, please let me drop your suggestion for on the group so that I won't waste this time. So if you have a suggestion for, please just let me drop it on the chat box so you can sort it. All right, Glory. So you can kindly mute your mic. All right, good. Okay, so we're talking about IP addresses. I was talking about IPv4, and I was talking that binary 0 and 1, 4 bits is equal to 1 nibble, 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. And I gave an example of 192.168.10.5. These are a simple example. I said this is 8 bits, this is 8 bits. And some people are saying, why am I doing this? By the time we are coming to malware analysis, you can see I'm breaking it down. Because some of you be like, I know this thing. By the time you come to malware analysis, we are doing something, you know, maybe you know it or not. So you see that I'm taking my time to go to the deepest. Some might feel it's boring. It's not though. By the time some of you I take you through forensics, it's not boring. So please learn it very well. I can say I've never seen any book. I'm taking it from my head because there'll be sometimes it be complex. Some that to do reverse engineering on Android mobile, iOS. You still come back to this. IoT, you still come back to this. So I'm taking my time for you to know these basics. Most of the time, people they find trouble when they get to something because they don't understand the basics. Some of them overlook it. I know it now. I know it. By the time you now sit in a complex environment, you see that same technology, but because you didn't know it very well, it becomes a trouble. So please follow, even though you know it, still try and refresh it. It's going to be very useful. So this is 8 bits. Everything here, if you 8 times 4 is equal to 32 bits, right? So, and if we do 2 raised to power 32, that's about 4 billion plus. That's 4 billion plus. Now, 4 billion is not enough for everybody. If you have about 4 billion IP addresses, China alone will maximize that. If I do finish the IP addresses, if you were to give it out like that. Right. So this 4 billion, so there's an issue with this IPv4 is that the problem was that it's not enough for everybody. But let me stop at there, I'll still come back to it. Then we went to IPv6. IPv6 is 128 bits. And of course, we have your 48 bit MAC address in it. So you do 2 raised to power 128. That's a very large number. And we needed this where we had the input of IoT devices. Right, so 2 raised to power 128, this IP address is enough for everybody using zillions or more than is a very large number. So that's about IPv6. So IPv6 was meant to solve the problem of what IPv4, which that every device cannot have its own IP address, a unique IP address. That's the purpose. Even though now it's not like that. We are still working with the routing protocol, a lot of things against IPv6. But some people are just using technology of IPv6 already. Then let's go back to IPv4. Now, if you cannot solve this problem, how were we now using IPv4 before IPv6 came? And of course, IPv4 is what most people still use. So people still don't have the technology to use IPv6. So they let me get into IPv6. Let me just stop at IPv4. Okay. Now, for IPv4, we are way behind time. We have what we call public, then it was split to public and private IP addresses. Now, for public IP address, let me first say that nobody actually knows you on the internet. I know some of you are in there for the first time. So you're only known by your ISP. And when I get to network defense, we talk about that protocol, VPN, network address translation, and so on and so forth. So example, you can go to your mobile and just type, what is my IP addresses? So you can come here and just look at what's my IP address. So what's IP address? Oh, sorry. What's my IP address? So yeah, you can look at what your IP address is. Just come to this one, what's my IP address.com. So some of you be seeing different locations. Some of you might see Kano, some of you might try to see Lagos, some of you might see Abuja. If you're using a VPN, you can see any other country, right? But there's something that you should know. You can't run away from your ISP. Let me first tell most of you that. That's one thing you need to understand when we talk about anonymity. So you can't run away from your ISP. And you notice that when you were saying what's my IP address, did you see your name there? No, you only saw your ISP and the IP address of the ISP, because each of them is allocated. That IP address, which is public, is actually allocated to each person, right? So, and that's the only thing that is routable on the internet. So we go to RII, IPs. So you can see the regional IP registry. Now we have ARIN, that handles the America internet. We have the Afrinic, we have the Apnic, we have the RIPE, we have the Lacinic. So for Africa, we have the Afrinic. Just like the way your airplane and ships, that's why I'm using it as a router also. Your airplane is not registered by Nigeria, it's registered by a body, just like this Afrinic, they are called like how. It's the same thing because they are the one that are routable, they're the one that deals with this international transportation, the same thing with your routers, right? So you can go back and do the research. 2005 Africa, we have about 2,492 members now, and you can see all this and that. So your public IP address, that unique IP address is being sold, right? It's being sold because it's a public IP address. So nobody actually knows you on the internet, but you are known by the ISP. But doesn't mean that they can't find you. I will not talk about those technology, the advanced technology, but they're not really advanced, but I'll just put a snippet out there. So for the people that want to know more, then know what to do. Okay. Sorry, did I just stop sharing? Give me a minute. Let me go back to watch. Okay. So that's about public IP addresses. So public are the ones that are routable on the internet, right? So it's only few of them, not actually few, but they are given to ISP. They buy them. They are unique IP addresses. So that's your public IP address. So by the time they're looking at Kano, it's not your IP address they are seeing at Kano. That's the address of the router that is taken to the internet. Right. So if you are seeing your location and are seeing most of you are using VPN, you're not talking about that. That's public. I get it. And these are most of you don't know that you have. This is you. This is your maybe your mobile phone and your laptop. You meet your ISP first. Your VPN does not work before your ISP. That you should note. Your VPN doesn't work before your ISP. Your VPN works after your what? ISP. This one doesn't work. So your VPN is not totally anonymous. But we won't talk about that. That just put your mind out there. It's not totally anonymous. But it works after ISP. So that why sometimes most of you don't know that hacking sometimes is expensive when you're looking for this line. It's expensive. But we'll talk about all the achievements about it later. Okay. So now let's talk about private IP addresses. Private IP address. So what I'm also doing that I'm also trying to filter a lot of noise that most of you see on the social media. There's a lot of noise concerning cybersecurity, but how many people actually do the job? You don't even have the time like that to even go through social media like that with the kind of job we do. So it's not that we can't do social media, but there's a lot of noise. So one of the things we are actually doing is also to filter those noise, all those nonsense that people are talking that they don't know what they are saying. So to filter those noise and for you to be able to do research on your own, so I see what is important. It's not that everything is nonsense, but you'll be able to filter those noise. It's very important to pick one that is relevant to you. So for private IP addresses, now these IP addresses that you can use within inside. Example, every school has a department called computer engineering. If you go to China, there's a department, university. I mean, there's a department called computer engineering or computer science, right? There's accounting. So all those computer accounting is just to divide ourselves. But I can't go out now. Let's say I'm from Unilag now. I can't say that, oh, I now went to US and I say that I'm from computer engineering. It's not possible. I'll mention the name of the school or the country because that is unique. That's the same thing that happens with you on the internet. This private is given to you by the ISP, but when you are going on the internet, you can't use this private to go to the internet. You use the public IP address. But this private I used to divide ourselves in out. That's why it's unique. It's a complete number. So you have different classes. So this doesn't change. You have the class A, which is 10.0.0.0. So 10.255.255.255. So please, I'm so sorry about my handwriting. Manage with me. We have the class B, which we have 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255. Then we have the class C, which is most common. Most of you have seen this a lot. 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.255.255. Then we also have class D and E. Class D can be used for multicast, but don't let me make it that complex. Then just put class D and E research. So for people that will go for it, I'll see break this down for them. Okay, so this is the unique number. So any number that is not here, of course, within this range is a for a public IP addresses. But this one I use internally, right? If I go to China, you see internal IP addresses. So you can go to your command prompt if you are using Windows system. If you press IP config, you will see one of these numbers there. If you're using a MacBook or a Linux system, you can use if config on your command prompt. If it's just go to terminal if you're using a MacBook or a Linux system. If you're using a Windows system, just press CMD on search bar, click here and press this IP config, then you see the private IP addresses. So that's about networking. Now, that's about network layer now, right? So now, you know that it's going from Nigeria, right, to US. And it's using maybe a ship because you took it to a port. So the ship is just like the router, right? So it's carrying our car now. That is, you are now at the network layer. So now transportation has started. Remember, we're coming from the transport layer now to the network layer. So you see how our car is moving from DHL application layer to now is inside the ship. Okay. So let's go to the data link layer. Data link layer. I hope you're not getting bored. Okay, thank you. Don't worry. Next time we'll be able to fine-tune this whiteboard so that we don't have these issues any longer. So we can write and erase at a faster rate. So I want us to be doing this. So sorry about that. Okay, I think this should be okay for me to do the data link. So yeah, we are talking about one of the protocol here is the MAC address, where you have the media access control. And your MAC address is unique to you, right? Your MAC address is 48 bits and they are in hexadecimal, because that's what we are going to now, binary number configuration. So maybe after our break, that's the last thing we do on networking. So before we go back to our static class. So let's say I have AB24 AC FE 1, 2. So people like, what are these numbers? Don't worry, you still understand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0. So this is how your MAC addresses are. Now, these first three are given by the OUI, and this is used by your products, just like the serial of our product. So who are the high UI, OUIs? So let me show you who they are. OUI. OUI MAC addresses. So they are called organizationally unique identifier. And what did they do? Right, so it's a 24-bit number. So from the 24-bit number, if I get your MAC address, and that's why sometimes you go like Gmail can tell you the kind of device you're using, even from your IMEI or from your MAC address, right? It's a unique number for that device. So the first 24-bit talks about the manufacturer of the product. Now, given to the manufacturer of the product, that means that maybe we are using an Intel chip, maybe for your wireless, maybe I'm using an IBM, maybe I'm using an HP, or whatever it is. The first 24-bit number, which you are seeing here, this 24-bit, this is 888. This is 24. So this 424 is by the UI given to any product. I cannot be using whatever device, right? And this one is used by the vendor themselves to differentiate. Example, I can have 5 HP, Spectra, things like that, Dell Latitude, the same configuration or the same specifications. So I can use it to differentiate that. So that's what this last 24 is about. So these are unique and they are physical address, not logical. IP are logical addresses. MAC addresses are physical addresses, which is unique. Now, some people say that they can change their MAC address online. Okay. So some say that I can change my MAC address and things like that. Well, I won't talk much about that. So you can spoof your MAC address for that. You can spoof your MAC address, right? For a number of times, you can spoof your MAC address or your IMEI. And now, I want somebody to go and do research. I won't tell you why. Now, before in the olden days, when you were doing all these small phones in Singapore, when you are looking at your IMEI, you have only one IMEI. But now you have two IMEI. What's the difference? Why was there one now? What were there two now? That's for your research time. Maybe next class I'll ask about it, what you learned about it. So small, I'm telling you about anonymity, even though I'm not teaching you. I'm putting your research for you to learn. Okay, so that's about the data link. Now, the last aspect is the physical aspects. Okay, so before I come to binary, let's talk about some things regarding the physical. Let me stop sharing here. Let's talk about the physical. So I come back to this binary expectations. After our break, we stop sharing. So I'm hoping that none of you will cram this earlier again. We've talked about data, reliability, end-to-end transmission, the network layer, quality of service, routing protocol, data delivery at the network layer. Then access to media, MAC access, media access control. That's your MAC. So our data is formatted and transmitted. Okay. Then the physical layer. So these are what some people want to talk about physical layer. So we have different media types, right? And some of them can be either through light, radio waves, or electron EMF voltage, right? So you have the two-step pair cable, which most of you are used to. You see your RJ45, your LAN cable. Most of you buy this from when you buy an MTN router. Some of this cable comes with it. So you have the two-step pair cable where you have your RJ45, your Ethernet port. We have the coaxial cable, which some of you use for your TV, your signal cable, and you can use it for your camera, right? Some of you also use it for your CCTV camera. Those are coaxial cable where you have the BNC connector. And there's something about this BNC connector. You don't connect both signal and power cable together. They must not meet each other because you affect. And so these are some of the things we should also manipulate when we come to IoT, when we talk about physical devices, where we have we should, but not for people in the internship, we should talk about Arduino, Raspberry Pi, Flipper Zero, things like that. So we talk about some of these gimmicks. They have the fiber optic cables, right? Where we have the signal cables. We have this one move in light. They have the wireless, the radio waves. They have different bandwidths, right? Remember, we have the 802.11 standard, we have the IEC, no, TEC standard, yeah. So some of them are in 802 standard, some of them are in TEC standard. So we have for the two-step care cable, and I can tell that the distance is 100 meters. This is where we got, remember I talked about local area network, when I'm talking that is 100 meters, because of the media use. Now, for a local area network, most of the media use, not now that we now have connectors and what do you call it now? Media converter, right? Can convert from fiber optic to internet and things like that, or through your media converter. But normally in the local area network, due to that, we used to take care cable, those type, is 100 meters. So anything more than 100 meters is not efficient. So that's why we're saying that, okay, local network should be in a building. It's based on the media used. Then Quasar also can be used on the local area network, which is 500 meters. And some of you can use for a signal cables and things like that. Then we have the fiber optic, right? We have two media. We have the simple fiber, we have the multi-fiber mode. But the single fiber mode, just like a torchlight, the smaller the radius of that torch, the further it can go. But if it's a large diameter, it spreads light. Those are multi-fiber. So multi-fiber can accommodate more data, but single fiber, less data, but a longer range. They have the wireless LAN that can go to 100 meters. Can use this also for a campus or metropolitan area network. Yeah. So we have the least expensive, inexpensive Quasar, the most expensive fiber optic cable. It's not even only expensive, even to do the splicing is also crazy. That's fiber optic. The wireless LAN, those are the radios that you see on your mouse, right? So they are moderate. Now let's talk about, oh, thank God, before I even move on, let's talk about some of these networking devices. We have the hub of the router. Now the hub of the router, even though there is a star topology, they are layer one device because they are not intelligent. This guy is not an intelligent device. Anyways. So this hub is not an intelligent device. It's not intelligent. So this is what I mean. Let me make a box here. So this is different ports. So this is computer A, computer B, computer C, computer D. Now in a hub, why do you make it like a repeater or something? In a hub, if A is sending to D, B will get the message and system C will get the message. Automatically, in fact, the attacker is there, they don't need to do anything. Naturally, we get the message. That's the hub for you. The hub is not secure and it broadcasts messages. So because it doesn't have any collision domain. All of them actually don't want collision domain. Not that each port is a collision domain. And of course, I told you the other time that a hub is out of place. The hub is out of place. So which makes it very slow. That means if A is sending to D, no other person carries the media. That's what it means. No other person can use meter. Once A finish sending to D, all of them have the same priority to fight for who will send again. So it's one at a time. And of course, if the bandwidth of this guy or the speed of this guy is 10 kilobytes per second, that's the up. All of them, they are sharing that 10 kilobytes per second. Everybody sharing that 10 kilobytes per second. I remember years back, when I was working in a particular organization, it was like this technology. So there's like an access point that all of you can use. And that's for a switch. We're using a switch there. And switch was very called Cisco 32 plus switch, 2900 series switch. So that all of us be complain that network is not good. The boss will just come, put his own cable. So all of you are sharing just one one access point. We shout that network is not good. But his own network is good because he has his own port. That's for a switch, right? But for a hub, it's just like an access point. So that's why I say that a hub is a layer one device because this guy is not actually intelligent. He doesn't know anybody. He doesn't learn about anything. It's just like a multi-socket. It's just to connect all of you. So there's nothing brilliant about it. So that's a barrier hub. So that's why I say that a hub can also be used as a repeater. So if the signal is lost, can also use as a repeater. So that's why I say that a hub is a layer one device. That means it's on that physical layer. So it's just is the same from one point to all other points. It's a central connection point for several network devices. That's just the purpose. So these are the examples of a hub, right? But I don't expect any organization to be using a hub as that now. But when we can't say, I don't expect everybody to be using a hub as that now. Then we have the network interface card, which allows, so this here works also at the layer 2, which converts both at layer 2 and layer 1. So this guy converts your signals to 0 and 1. That's the network interface card. Also, you can put also under your wireless card. So they are the one that allows you to browse, to do anything you need to do on the internet. So that is network interface card. They have the wireless physical layer implementation. So I was talking about this. This is another standard, EHE, that I was talking about. They have the 802.11 standard. But you can look at all those. And we have this RJ level, which is for telephone. Yeah. For some of you that have telephone network, you've seen one. That's that. Let's talk about MAC address. Okay, switches. I would like to explain switches better. Okay, so this is a switch. The same configuration. Now, a switch can have about 24 ports, can have 48 port switch, and so on and so forth like that. So this is still the same system A, system B, system C, system D. So if A is now sending to D, for a switch now, B will not get the message and C will not get the message. It's not like a hub that if I'm saying if A is sending to D, B will get the message, C will get the message. But for a switch now, A, B, and C will not get the message. Why? Because this guy has the memory now. Just like the way our brain works. Imagine someone does not have a brain. I want to say something to who is on the call. Let's say Abib now. Because I don't know who Habib is, that's what the hub does not know who Habib is, and cannot learn who Habib is. So anytime he asks chocolate for Habib, he'll be saying that, please, who is Habib? So he can go and make glory. Is this chocolate for Habib? Do you know Habib? No. So everybody will see that it's chocolate I want to send to Habib. But for a switch now has a memory, has a brain now, it can learn about people, which the brain is what we call the CAM memory. What is CAM? Content Address Memory. That's the full meaning of CAM. And what does CAM do? It stores MAC addresses. That's the purpose of CAM. So that I'll say that a switch is an intelligent hub. So this guy is stores MAC address. Sorry, these are just abbreviations. So now if A is sending to D, he knows who D is. So he does not give it to C or does not give it to B because he knows D. The only time it will broadcast a message if he doesn't know the person for the first time. So let's say someone calls you for the first time and the switch does not know. You say that, please, who is D or who is E? So by the time he learn about E, it will not broadcast anything relating to E again, but he now know who E is. So that's the beauty about a switch, right? So even though an attacker is there, he can't get everybody's message naturally, unless he does some attacks. He can't. Another thing about a switch is that what each port here has its own collision domain. It's not like a hub that there can be collision, because if A send it to B and C try to send the message, there'll be collision here. It will jam. But in a switch, there's nothing like jamming, right? Because And remember that this switch is also a full duplex. And that's why I say that a switch is a layer 2 device and not layer 1. But this guy is a full duplex, they work with a half duplex. And each port, right, on the switch has its own collision domain. So example, if this switch is 24 port switch, that means that 24 collision domain. If it's 40, that means that 40 collision domain. But both of them, they work at the local area network, at the LAN. So both of them just have one broadcast domain, because they're all under local area network. They have the last one, which is the router. I've explained router before, but router is what makes so different network communicate together. Network A, this can be Nigeria, this is Togo. So it's this router that allows Nigeria to communicate with Togo. So you have a friend that calling Togo, it's because of the router. And each port of the router has its own collision domain, or the majorly for a wide area network. And of course, your router will serve as a gateway to the internet, they serve as gateway. So that's it. Those are our network devices. Okay, please let me attend to questions so that I can go to a break and we'll be back after the break to continue. So go ahead, please, are there questions?
So please, please shed more light on the last, you have mentioned so many things. Please shed more light on the router.
Okay, so I said that the router, each port on the router, right, serve as a broadcast domain. So they connect two different networks together, network, not devices now. So they connect two different networks together. So I said they connect Nigeria and Togo, just like your plane, that connect two different countries together. That's the function of the router also. Right. So if you have a friend in Canada and you want to call them, it's the function of the router that won't connect you to that person. And I also said that they serve as a gateway. That means if I'm in a local area network, like this, all of us can communicate even without the internet. Right? Because we are in the same building, we are in the same local area network. But if we need to communicate with another local area network, then we need a router. So you need to go through that router. It serves as a gateway. That means I need to leave this office building where I am to go out. So they serve as the gateway to another network. That's what I'm talking about a router. So does that make sense, Prince?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other person?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Spoke about the public and private IP addresses, the class A, the class B, and the class C. Please, can you
That's
throw more
correct.
light on that?
Okay. What do you want to say? Okay, so for class A is used for a large enterprise. So when we talk about 10.2, 10.0, okay, let me go see each of me writing. Private IP addresses. Okay, so that you can make it more easy. And so I can see something that gives me that information, so I know how to be writing all the time. Okay, so this is a class IP address. So this one is the host, and this one are the rather this is the network, and these are the hosts. So this one can accommodate a large number of devices. That means if you have a large enterprise, you have a lot of devices. Now, if I do 255, 255, 255, that's like 8 raised to power, and that's 888. Yeah, so you can accommodate that amount of people. So you have about 16 million. That's the number of IP addresses this class K can take, right? Then for class B, this amount it can take. Therefore, class C is actually 256. But because we had D0 and D0, but on a standard, it's just 256. Minus 2, actually, there's always a minus 2, 254. One is for host, one is for broadcast address. But these are a number of IP addresses. So depending on which kind of network you want to use them, right? You want to separate them on. That's when you see any of these addresses. But they are static, they don't change. Remember, like I'm saying about computer engineering, accounting in a school, they are used to divide departments. That's what these guys are used for. They are used for internal separation, but it's the public that used to browse. But you can't use this one to browse, but you can use to separate ourselves. And it's on lease, right? For a number of time for you to go to the internet. That's what they are used for. Or we can use it within in ourselves. Example, if we need to communicate in a local area network, let's say the banking system now. I don't want to go to the internet. Using this private IP address, we can talk to each other, we can send mails to each other, even though we don't use the internet, right? Like some of you that are using Sender now. That's just the idea, right? It gives you IP address and you send to one another without even the internet. That's the idea of private IP address. But if I need to communicate outside that environment, that's when I need the public IP addresses, right? Just like the internet. So does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Any other person?
Okay, yes, sir. Please, I have a question.
Please go
And in that,
ahead.
can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
In that data link, you say that the first three number are given by OUI, then the last three number is given by who?
It's the vendor. It's the vendor is it for their own product. It's a separate product.
Oh.
Example, the phone you're using now, there can be 20, 50 of it. So they need to separate them now. Is that correct? Like your serial number and product number, things like that.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back by 1:10. So this is the last hour. So let your energy be up. I can see some people, the energy were up when we started the class. It's always like that. So please let your energy be up and I will see you by 1:10. So we go for the last session. I will be through for today. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So I think there's one thing already. I'll be able to take a nap, be able to stretch our legs. Some people like say, ha, oh my God, but it's normal. It's normal. So this is just the beginning, so don't, and that's the way the work is. I've told some people yesterday, if you were sleeping 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. before, it's not working as a security person. That doesn't work. So, and these are just basics. If I decide to teach even basics for, I can be here till 8 o'clock and I'll keep teaching. But please make sure you learn this. Take advantage of this moment. You might never see this opportunity again. You might never. You might never. So please take note of these essentials. They are very important. Like I said the other time, so people having issues now where they are, but they can't admit that they don't know it. And some of them are using head because they didn't go through the basics. So no matter the career path you want to go through, this basics is very, very important. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Sir, please, before I continue, I don't know whether would the handout, the PDF be shared out. There's this exact PDF you're using.
Yes, the EHE, Abby.
Yes.
It will be shared out, of course. You get the materials. Good.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Okay. And that's because some of the time I might not be able to touch everything in that book. So sometimes you also have to do self-learning for you to pass your exam. So, but we cover whatever time permits us to cover because we're also training you how to read and assimilate. As much as I might not be able to cover everything. So most of the time I still need to read. So don't worry, you will get the material so that you can read ahead for your exams also. Okay, number conversion. Let's start. So now we are the physical layer. Now I've shown you how data move from one point to the other and things like that, right? So from the application layer to the physical layer. Also, from the physical layer, maybe it's through fiber to whatever, the same process go up. Then the person see your iMessage or hello message. So that's just the process. So let's quickly talk about number conversion. So let's talk about decimal to binary. But before I go there, this is the gimmicks about this simple. It's not like the one you did in secondary school that you were drawing ruler and you were drawing paper. No, that's not what we are doing. So just know this. This is the rule we are going to be doing. 2 raised to power 0 is 1. 2 raised to power 1 is 2. So we are doing it in terms of 2 binary. This is how your system is made, your CPU. Now we are going to CPU memory, although I've not taught maybe 8084 or 8085 memory structure, but this is how your system communicates. And some of you might need to go ahead to learn about assembly language. That's also fine. 2 raised to power 2 is 4. 2 raised to power 3 is 8. 2 raised to power 4 is 16. 2 raised to power 5 is 32. 2 raised to power 6 is 64. 2 raised to power 7 is 128. Let me erase this. Number cover. And the person that told me to use paint, thank you very much. I can't remember his name, but thank you for bringing that to my notice. You can say I'm also learning from you. Even though I need that piece paper, but my mind didn't go there. So we are both learning together. So thank you so much. I acknowledge that.
You're welcome, sir.
All right. So 2 raised to power 8 is 256. And we can go on and on and on and on like that. So let's say I have a number that is, I have to convert, let's start from little number. I have to convert 3 to binary. So what I don't need to go here is to come, this is the rule we'll be using for this binary conversion, this little rule. Now, also because this also goes to even digital analysis 0 and 1. Your transistors, either 0 or 5 volts. So 0 means that what it is off, that system is off. 1 means that it's on. Please, that person should kindly mute. Please let me look through that person and disable the person's mic. Please let me disable that person's mic. Thank you. So if I'm saying something is off, that means it can't go in it, or these two can't go. If I say something is on, that means it can go. Now look at 3. What is the highest number that can go in 3? That is 2. That's 2 raised to power 1. So I can make this is either a nibble or 8 bits. I can make the answer is either nibble. Nibble is 4 bits. I can make the answer is bytes, which is what? 8 bits. That's what I'm saying. So let's say I'm making it 8 bits. That means I'm using this 4, but this is 4. This 4. If I'm making it 8 bits, I'll stop here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this whole one is 8 bits. This one is 4 bits. But I'll just put the answer at 4 bits. So let's want to convert 3 to binary. The first thing, that was the highest number that can go in 3, which is 2 raised to power 1. This is on. So if it can go, it is on. If it cannot go, it is off. Of course, 8 cannot go is off. 4 cannot go is off. So if 2 can go, it remains what? 1. And 1 can go is 1 in 1. So the binary is 0, 0, 1, 1. If it's in 8 bits, I'll just add 0 in front. These are non-important bits. So that'll be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. That is also 3 bits, but I'm just making it in 4 bits. So that's 3. Let's pick another number. Let's say, let me go higher. Let's say 9 or 10. I want to convert 10 in decimal to binary. So the first thing I need to look here is what's the highest number that can go in my my configuration, of course. And what I need to know is that what's the maximum that can go in enable. That means if everything is on, what is the highest? That will be 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. That is 15. That means any number greater than 15, I need to move it to 8 bits. But any number smaller than 15 can still be in this range. That's what it means. Right. So let's say I'm looking for 10 now. 10 is under 15. So what's the number that can go in 10? That is 8. 8 is on. So 8 can go, it remains 2. 4 cannot go in 2, is off. 2 can go in 2, right? Remaining 0. Of course, 2 is on and this one is off. So what we have is 1, 0, 1, 0. That is 10. So let me go higher. It's as simple as that, not the one you used to draw in your secondary school or university, you join ruler. No, this is just the simple logic. So let me go higher to like say 17. Now, if I'm going to 17, it's greater than this number here, than 15. So I need to come here. So what's the highest number that can go? 16 can go in 17, which is 1. Of course, 120 cannot go. And make a ruler here. It's okay if some of you don't get it at once, but you will need it to run on away from it because these are your CPUs communicate. Still how they were even made. So we are going to memory analysis, malware, and so on. We still come back to all these things. So for 17, the highest number that can go is 16, 1. Of course, a remaining 1. So this one cannot go. Of course, I'm still here also. 64 cannot go. 32 cannot go here. So that is complete. So 8 cannot go in 1, of course, it's 0. 4 cannot go in 1. This cannot go in 1. So this is 17. So 17 is 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. So someone should give me a number. So we do it. Any random number that you have in your head.
43.
38.
Okay, 43, 38, 38, and 43. So 38, what's the highest number that can go in 38? Of course, it's greater than 32, so we come here, right? So, of course, no, it's not even greater, 32. So 32 can go, that's the highest number that can go in 38. It can, 64 cannot go, 128 cannot go, 64 cannot go. So you look at the highest number that can go in that figure first. So the highest number that can go in 38 is 32, so it's on. It's remaining 6. So 16 cannot go in 6. 8 cannot go in 6. 4 can go. That's the highest number that can go next with 6. So it remains 2. Of course, 2 can go in 2. Then 0, because 1 cannot go in 0. So that will be 38 is 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. So someone said 43. Of course, the highest number that can go in 43 is still 32. So 32 is on here. So that is 43 minus 32, that remaining 11, right? Yeah, 11. So what's the number that can go 11 here? 16 cannot go 11. 8 can go 11, right? So 8 can go, it remains 4. No, it remains 3, not 4, 3. So 4 cannot go in 3 is off. 2 can go in 3, which is 1, remaining 1. So 1 can go in 1, and this cannot go. So that will be 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. 1 can go in 1 now. Yeah, that is 1, 1, 1. So that is 43. So that is decimal to binary. Let me look for a very large number. Let's say 113. That's a very large number. So of course, if it's 113, 164 can go in 113. So 64 can go in 113. That is 1. So 113 minus 64, let me say calculator. Please, I hope you guys are following on. 113 minus 64, that is 49, remaining 49. So what highest number that can go in 49? 32 is the highest number that can go in 49, so it's on. So 49 minus 32, remaining 17.
17.
Yes. The highest number that can go in 17 is 16. So it remain 1. Of course, 8 cannot go in 1. 4 cannot go in 1. 2 cannot go in 1, but 1 can go in 1. So the answer, this is 0 anyway. So that will be 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. So that is about decimal to binary. So let's do the reverse case. Binary to decimal. I'll be binary to decimal. Yeah, that's the reverse case. How many zeros of this? So binary to decimal. So let me just give a random decimal. Let's say 0011. So what I just need to do is that I just need to come and write it here. That's all, on this table. From the right to the left. And now we had them. This is 1100. Right? Or please, can someone give me the binary of what we did the other time? I can't remember again. We can drop it on the group so that we can get what we get the other time again. We can someone quickly write those binaries. The binary we got for 43, for 120 something, if you have
The
it.
first one
Okay,
was 3.
What is the binary? We want to combine it back to 3. Yes, this is 3. Yes, that's correct. What's the next one?
0011.
The second one called
10.
and the binary.
1010.
1010. The next one.
17.
What's the binary?
000100001.
The next one.
133.
Okay, what's the binary?
0111.
011. 0111001. Okay, we can stop there and I can pick anyone.
0001. 000.
000, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Someone will say that how we take enter maths. Like, this is just basic, right? This is just for you to refresh and just know that you still need it when we go forward. So this is just basic, but it's not like we've been like this all the time. No, it's still going through some things. But this is for some people that will go for forensic, malware, just to understand. If I this is needed for everybody to understand IP addresses, because these still relate to IP addresses. You still convert it back to binary. How it works. So this when we are talking about 64-bit system, all these frequencies to go back to this binary. So some people that are doing reverse engineering, or you want to do your masters like that, you still come back to this. So all right, so but just follow it, not generic for everybody, not like everybody must know it, but it's good that you know it. All right, so 0011. So what we just did that we had the main number with this one. 8 is off, which is 0. 4 is off, which is 0. 0 plus 0. 2 is on. If you look at here, right? 2 is on here. That is plus 2 plus 1 is 1, which will give us 3. Now look at this one here. 0, 1, 0, 1. So for here, 8 is on, which is 8. 4 is off, 0. 2 is on, you can see it, 2 here is on, 2. Then 1 is off, 0. 8 plus 2 will give us what? 10. So let's go to the next one, which is from here 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. So which one is on? 8 is on here. 64 is off, of course. 32 is on, 16 is off. So 8 is on. 4 is off. We don't need it. 2 is off. The next one that is on is 1. That will give us what? 9. That is for this. Then this one, 3, 0. This is 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. Anyways. So here, what I think that on 64 is on, plus 32 is on, 16 is on, 8 is on, 4 is off, 2 is off, then 1 is on. So that'll be 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 1. Let me see what that is. Okay, what's the answer? 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 1. What would that give us?
That's 124.
124. So that is that. So that's back to binary to decimal. Okay. So let's quickly move from there. We are going to binary to octadecimal. Binary to octadecimal. So I'm going to binary to that decimal. So this is the last topic for today. Not the last topic, but number conversion is what we do last for today. Then we continue tomorrow, where we go into hacking and we have some demonstration. So please come tomorrow because there'll be some demonstration on some hacking. So you see some practicals tomorrow. Today is just basics. So tomorrow you see some hands-on practical. So make sure you come tomorrow. Yeah.
What time is lecture tomorrow, sir?
2 to
some of
6
us are
p.m.
Christians, will be going to church. Eh?
Yeah, 2 to 6 p.m.
Okay, 2. Okay, nice one. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So binary to octadecimal. So octa means what? 8, which is 2 raised to power 3. 2 raised to power 3 will give us 8. That means the right number we can have is 0 to 7. Anything greater than 8 is not more octa. So let's have a binary that is 1011011101. Just a random number. So the first thing I need to do to get my octadecimal is to divide each one by 3. 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. So I will have 3 segments. So the first thing I will divide those binary into 3s. Right. So the next thing is what I'll do before. Treat each of them as a whole. Why am I writing 10111? Let me make this 1001. Okay. So I'll treat each segment as a whole. Example 101 as a whole, 001 as a whole, another 101 as a whole. So just like what we did before, 101. So 101 for this guy here, that is 4 plus 1, which is equal to 5. Then 001, which is 1. Then our 101, which is 5. Then our answer here is 515 base 8. So that is octadecimal. Let's pick another random binary. Let's say 0011101001110. So it's the same thing I will do. I will pick each segment by 3, 3. 1, 2, 3 divide. 1, 2, 3 divide. 1, 2, 3 divide. 1, 2, 3. Let's say I have a number that is 1 here. That is there. Just know that this is 0, 0. That's as simple as that. That means there are 2 significant numbers in front, 0, 0. So if we divide 3 by 3, I have 2. If it's 2 numbers, just add 1 0 in front to make it 3. If it's 1 number, add 2 0 in front to make it 3. Then I treat each segment as a whole. This is 110, 110. Remember that it must not be greater than 8. That's why we are treating it 2 raised to power 3. We are picking it in 3s. That's just a simple idea regarding it. So 110, that's 4 plus 2 plus 0, which is 6. 100, 100, which is 4. 4 plus 0 plus 0 is 4. 110, that's 4 plus 2, which is 6. 0001, which is 1. So our answer is 1646 base 8. So that's binary to octadecimal. So let's say you want to convert it back to decimal, 515146. Okay. Let me just do one of it. It's the same process actually. So remember, I'm still following this my rule. I'm not changing my rule. It's still the same rule I've been using this morning. Okay. So 515. What I just need to treat each one as a whole. Then what's the next number that can go in 5, which is 4, right? 1, remaining 1. So 2 cannot go 0, 1. So I have 101. For 1 is 001, just 1. 001. For 5, the same 101. Then I join it. That is 101, 001, 101. So you see that if you make a mistake and add 0 or make it 4, it will change. It will be another thing. So these are to convert from binary to octa and octa back to binary. Then the last one we're doing for today is to hexadecimal. So the last conversion today is binary to hexadecimal and hexadecimal back to binary. But I'll not be talking about decimal numbers today, so it will not be gotten too much today, so can't digest it. So binary to hexadecimal, and vice versa. But one of the things must understand is decimal, hexadecimal. Remember that decimal is 0 to 9. 10 is a combination of 1 and 0. 100 is a combination of 1, 0, and 0. But for hexadecimal, it's 2 raised to power 4, which is 16. So if I'm putting 16 here, I'm still talking about decimal because it's a combination of 1 and 6. So how do I differentiate hexadecimal to decimal? That's why I say that anything number from 10, we name them as alphabet. That's what you are seeing in your MAC address, right? 10 is A, 11 is B, 12 is C, 13 is D, 14 is E, then 15 is F. So that's how I differentiate. So those figures are seen as the MAC address, right? This is where it was gotten from because they are in hexadecimal. So by the time you are seeing letters, you know they are dealing with what? Hexadecimal. So of course, let's look at the binary. Let's say 11000111100110101. Any number. So instead of dividing in threes, because these 2 raised to power 4, of course, I'll divide in fours. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. This is 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And the last 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to treat each one as a whole, as each segment. So octa in 3 places, hexa in 4 places. Please don't forget that. Okay, so the first one is 1010. So 8 is off, only 4 and 1 is on. 4 plus 1 will give us 5. 0011. 2 is on, 1 is on, which will give us 3. 0111. 4 is on, 2 is 1. 2 is on, 1 is on. That will give us 7. And the last one, 1100. 8 plus 4 will give us 12. But we can't write 12 now. Remember that 12 is C. So this one is C735 base system. Then if you are doing part conversion, you treat each one as a O and combine the binaries. So that's basically about number conversion. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've tried for today. So you can see what elements of information security, how integrity brought us to all this. It was integrity that brought us to this basis of networking. So you can understand that if I'm sending I to someone, the I can change to hello from this little thing I've just shown you. And it took us to physical layer to binary, which we see also affect our memory, dump, memory forensic, and so on and so forth like that. How you got 1 terabyte of data, how your 1 gig is moving from one place to the other, just from this simple element. Right? So you can see that we don't just teach based on that we are teaching you. I can just tell you the English and tell you that integrity is trustworthiness, but you saw the way I broke it down to you. So this is what we do as a person also. Okay, let me attend to questions. Enough of that. Let me attend to questions. If there are any questions for me, so we can wrap up the day.
Okay, sorry, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
So, to this, from binary to hexadecimal, when you get 12, what did you do? You said you cannot write 12. What did you do?
You can see that 10 is equal to A, 11 is equal to B, 12 is equal to C, 13 is equal to D, 14 is equal to E, 15 is equal to I named it the alphabet. That way you see your MAC address, those alphabets. So if I write 12, 12 is a combination of 1 and 2, and that's the decimal, not hexadecimal. So instead of putting it at decimal, we wrote it in alphabet. I remember that the value number is 0 to 15. That's why we stopped at 15 for hexadecimal, which is 16 numbers.
Okay. That is why we write C here.
Yeah,
okay.
that was C. Yeah. Okay. Any other question? So about 190 something started if I'm seeing 132. So you can see that a lot of people need resilience and a lot of people feel maybe it's too simple, but by the time we go on, you know, maybe it's that simple or not. Okay. Please go ahead and unmute yourself. I see David. David, please go ahead. David Adam. So I can just copy with that raise their hands. David, please, you are raising up your hands. Go ahead. Okay. Joseph is raising up his hand. Joseph, please go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
I want to confirm if the time for the classes are fixed or they move. I want to confirm.
Okay, are you from SIP or you came from cyber entry program?
I don't understand.
No, the WhatsApp group you are, is it cyber entry or SIP? The WhatsApp group you are in.
SIP.
Okay. So you communicate that to you because if you know your time changes, even though you are doing this refresher class, it's still flexible. Your time is still 10 to Fridays. But for these 4 weeks is Saturday and Sunday. But after 4 weeks, if you go to the next stage, it will change back to Fridays. And it's
I'm talking about
Fridays is gone. About what?
this specific time. Like today, it was I think 9 to 2. Like next week, is it also going to be 9 to 2?
No, it's 10 to
Or
2. It's 10 to 2.
okay.
That's a concert time, 10 to 2.
Okay.
Okay, Abi, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Please, is it still Mr. Oluwatimilei?
Yes, that's correct.
Ah, okay. You sound different when it got to the mass part. Sir, I want to my request is to Gloria or you too, sir. I would like to just beg the organization to please drop these help us drop this material and video on time so that we'll be able to catch up. Because I wouldn't lie to you, sir. It got to a point I was lost totally, but I just had to stay till the end of the class. Thank you, sir.
All right, that's fine. So they'll get it across to you. They'll get it across definitely so that you can read. They will. Aditola Samuel.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you, sir, so much for the class. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Sir,
you
please,
too.
I just want to make you first one is the timing. This 4 hour stretch. I don't know if you can help us to break it a bit. Maybe we have 2 hours in morning or and we have 2 hours in the night. Because I can maybe the attendance now for that 4 hour stretch, we can have this fatigue and some other things. Yeah. So that's one. And again, for the attendance, I don't know if we can have like two sections of the attendance. First, imagine someone staying for out of 4 hours, they stayed for 3 hours and not being able to maybe the last 1 hour is busy. So he's not be able to sign attendance. So for that while he's not having any attendance record for his attendance. So if we can have one maybe sent first. So maybe towards the end we have another one or any of the ones to do it. So I would just like to consider my request, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. For the attendance, Glory will look into it. But for the timing, you guys are still beginners, and this is just the beginning. By the time you call for corporate training, it's 8 to 5 straight. No, you only have tea breaks and lunch. It's 8 to 5. And this foundation, I don't even want to hear complain about time because you are just, example, if you go to a military training, how do you think the foundation is always? In fact, this is meant to be like breathe in and breathe out. But because they're not doing camping, the foundation is always strict. Then it gets easier as you go on. I'm always so surprised people are saying 4 hour class. If it's corporate class, we do 8 to 5. Me that I'm a instructor, like this is just the first phase of my work today. And that's the way the job is. My work still goes around. I wish some of you can see my schedule for a whole day. Well, it's what they pay. That's fine. That's something about. That's why some people just talk about money, but they don't talk about the work. The work is there. So you only hear on the internet about the pay, but most of you don't hear about the work. So that 4 hours is even too small.
Hi,
It's too
Mr.
small.
Chamberlain.
Hi. Hello.
Please, you stated the date and time for the program fully. I think you said something like this cyber entry training is for beginners. I don't really understand. It's as if we have two like 2 groups on the call right now.
Yes, because everybody needs to understand this aspect. That's why there are two. Even though you are from internship or you are from my cyber entry program, this is still very valuable for both people.
Yes, I get that. Okay. But I want to know if like this cyber entry training is just for, you said it's for 4 weeks, right?
That's correct.
And weekends.
That's correct.
So how about after the 4 weeks? Like, do we have classes weekdays and weekends?
And is weekdays, that's be Fridays. But if there's any other day, we communicated to you. But for these 4 weeks with everybody, this cyber entry program is Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday, all right. Thank you very much.
Yes. All right. Okay. Any more questions? So people are confused about career paths, any other thing before I close for the day? Or not for the day, close for me actually. Or I hand over to Samuel of Glory.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. So after these 4 weeks, is it only on Fridays we'll be having the lectures? I'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Just Fridays.
Come again, sir.
Fridays. But if there's any change in time, of course, don't worry, just keep on the group. You'll be communicated with. So anything that has to do with timing, just make sure you're on your part. If you're cyber entry, keep being on cyber entry. If you're on SIP, whatever it is, whatever communication that has to do, please just make sure you're on that group. Every communication regarding timing and date will be passed over.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right.
Hello,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Hello,
Hello.
sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Sir, I just want to.
Sorry, sir. I don't know if you have taken attendance, but I've been active ever since, but I don't know when
Don't
they took
worry.
their
As far as you're on
attendance.
this call, they will take your attendance.
No, once in a while I used to have breaking transmission, something like that. I
Don't
used to
worry.
have
As far as you
network.
are here like this, you are talking. Don't worry. Your attendance will be taken. All right. Someone was speaking also.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mercy.
Yes, I just want to confirm for the Sunday's class for these 4 weeks, the class is going to hold from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., right?
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'll hand you over to Samuel. I hope to see you next time. There is no 100% security anywhere in the world. The more the ease of life, the more the security in it. So one of the beauty about cybersecurity is also job security.